15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Not exactly a love story going on between Caleb Williams and the city of Chicago. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We've got basketball for you. We've got football for you. Everything on the table on this very, very big Friday, so welcome to the show. But, got to start off with the news from yesterday, some clips from an upcoming book by a friend of ours, Seth Wickersham, who will be coming on the show, by the way, at some point to talk about all of this. Got that confirmed yesterday. But he had some interesting quotes from not only Caleb Williams, but also Caleb Williams' father. Now, some of this stuff kind of leaked out before the draft that maybe they were thinking about trying to avoid Chicago, which, to be fair, you could understand why a guy who's a generational quarterback talent may not look at Chicago and say, wow, this is a place where I can really succeed. And it turns out they were not only nervous about Chicago, they were exploring some pretty big options, like meeting with labor lawyers, talking with Archie Manning, who steered Eli Manning away from San Diego into the New York Giants, and even exploring a move to the United Football League in a John Elway type of situation. And trying to circumvent the draft and let Caleb Williams become a free agent, a former Heisman Trophy winner, to become a free agent and sign wherever he wanted to. His preference was the Minnesota Vikings. Now, after a pre-draft visit to Chicago, Caleb Williams changed his mind, said he actually could succeed, had reservations about the head coach and the OC. He was right about that. They're both gone. And now he's going to start over with Ben Johnson. But this is a pretty big bombshell to drop in this book. Even if you agree that the system is unfair for rookies and that Chicago is a wild card for quarterbacks, it still doesn't, to me, feel like this relationship is on an awesome level right now and shaky ground for Caleb.
Well, first of all, there's no agree or disagree. Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die. That's a fact. If you listen to pull tape of me when Chicago's number one pick, everybody knows this. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. It's 2025. Do you know how hard it is to not have a 4,000-yard passer in today's NFL? So this all confirms my system quarterback theories. Like Tom Brady went to the wrong team, he wouldn't be Tom Brady, and Caleb Williams went to the wrong team. Now, he might get a lifeline because they got the best hire of the offseason and Ben Johnson, former Lions coordinator. But generally, this was set up for failure. And Caleb Williams' dad, who's always been interventionist in his son's career, going back to Oklahoma, everyone's known that he was one of those dads who is preparing his kid to be in the NFL. I mean, he's not wrong about anything. Of course, Chicago was a terrible place. Matt Eberflus, you said it too. They had a coach who wasn't on the same page with his GM. They had a defensive coach. They hired basically the best offensive coordinator they could find, not because they were so excited about this guy, only because he was the only guy left. Everything screamed failure going into the situation. Now, I mean, really, I don't even think that's a point of debate. I think the point of debate is, have things changed enough in one offseason that situation has changed?
Yeah, and that's a big question. So the big quote that could end up sticking with Caleb Williams, not his dad, with Caleb, who said this to the author of the book about why he decided to, not make this a whole big mess and decided to go play ball in Chicago, literally, figuratively, play ball with the Bears. He said, quote, "I wasn't ready to nuke the city. I wasn't ready to make this so messy that they would be forced to trade me. Like, I just wouldn't be able to suit up for Chicago. I wasn't ready to nuke the city. So you could be ready soon. If things don't go your way, if things don't get off to this great start, I know you want to put Ben Johnson, the new head coach in Canton. Pearl, he has not coached a game in the NFL. And it's not just about play calling. We know he's a good play caller. But is he going to be able to manage the relationships, the egos? This story is early enough in the offseason. They'll get through it definitely before the season starts. But that quote to me is always going to loom out there almost just a little like a stinky fart. Like you can't take it back.
I think you have that quote wrong.
Oh, okay. How?
It's done. He got drafted by them. He can't nuke the city now. He's under a contract with them.
You can nuke anything whenever you want to.
In
You watch the
years,
NBA?
He can't. No, you can't. In the NFL, Carl Williams is right. That contract's ironclad. He can't nuke anything. What's he going to do?
Listen, Carson Palmer got his way out of Cincinnati.
Yes, after 9 years.
There are, and fast forward that to the 2025 version, and maybe that doesn't take 9 years.
It's not going to take 2 years. I mean, he has no choices now. He could, even if he wanted to nuke the city, no quarterback in a rookie deal has ever tried to trade his way. It's pulled a James Harden. That's never happened.
Yet.
Caleb Williams has no choice here. He's stuck.
Oh, Pearl. No athlete is ever stuck anymore. And by the way, not
ask
athletes.
Carl Williams.
Well, okay, but not athletes who think this way. And I'm not saying he's the only one.
Yeah.
Think about Caleb Williams coming up in a college system where you have free agency every single year. We know how the family thinks about the CBA. And I'm not saying they're wrong, by the way. They look like they could be in for a fight, a challenge, that they would take this head on because they also know that Caleb, at least his rookie season wasn't amazing, but he obviously has still some degree. He would be a sought after and a very wanted person. And that's why those are the types of people who can actually move the needle here. Just because we haven't seen it yet doesn't mean we won't see it. And if you're telling me that Caleb... never, bro.
Just explain some logistics. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how could this actually happen?
How did James Harden get traded?
I mean,
out of Houston and then out of Brooklyn.
Right. But this guy is on the second year of a 5-year contract.
Okay.
And there's two scenarios here. One, if he plays really well, he's not, and he has a lot of value.
Well,
he's not going to want to leave.
Okay, that's a good option.
If he plays really badly, then he lost his leverage anyway, and he's stuck in Chicago. There's no other scenario except stuck in Chicago.
No, because so first of all, when I say the James Harden option or what we've seen other NBA players, they didn't do it in their second years either.
Right, but that's the NBA. The NFL doesn't work at all like that.
Yet.
Yeah.
Pearl, you're talking like, let's
it's
look into
never
the
happened in
future
106 years of the NFL. And I mean, even in the recent, this has not happened. I don't know, what's he going to possibly do? If he plays badly this year, he isn't going to have any leverage anyway.
No, because they will always give a second chance to somebody who had that much talent coming out of college. If you don't think that 15, 16 other teams would be lining up to make a trade, you're crazy. Now, it's unprecedented. Have we seen something?
16 teams are going to make a trade for a Caleb Williams if he has a bad season. 16 teams.
Yes.
No
Have you seen
way.
Have you seen the state of quarterback play in the NFL?
Yes, you could go sit the 16 starters like Brock Purdy. Yeah, nobody's going for. If he plays really badly, there are not 16 teams lining up for Caleb Williams. No way.
I'd love to know what the audience thinks because I don't know how closely people are following this thing. But Caleb Williams is talking here like somebody who is very much thinking about this as a business deal and a business. And you know what? If he says, I wasn't ready to nuke the city, that doesn't mean I'll never nuke the city. That means that doesn't say I'll never make this so uncomfortable that Ryan Poles has to trade me. It's not going to be the Vikings, obviously. That would not happen in a division rival. But if you're saying that he wants to make this so messy, like James Harden showing up fat and out of shape in Houston and dribbling a ball off his foot on purpose to get traded, I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but if you think that's never going to happen in the NFL,
it never will happen.
How can you say that?
Because if you show up fat and lazy, you'll get killed. It's not the NBA. It's never going to happen because if he plays badly, he's Sam Darnold and he has to go to Carolina on an $8 million a year deal. I mean, it's just how it works. I don't understand the scenario. First of all, he's 3 years away from the end of his contract.
Sure.
This is a book. This is ancient history. This might as well be in the Parthenon in Greece. This happened, Maggie. None of this. This is all about the spring where he got drafted. None of this is relevant anymore. There's nothing he could do.
Disagree. But here's the thing. When you have quotes that come out like this, it just to me doesn't signify that there is this love affair that's going on, obviously, it's like the quarterback had to hold his nose and sign with you despite all these reservations. And maybe Ben Johnson saves that, but maybe he doesn't. And that would be the other thing. It's one thing to nuke the city, as he said, who wasn't ready to nuke the city, and try to get yourself away. It's another thing where he still could get people fired. He can get Ben Johnson fired.
That ain't
He can
happening.
get Ryan Poles fired.
Ryan Poles must have pictures of the ownership group because he
Nope.
ain't getting fired.
He doesn't. I promise you he's
Well,
not
I
on
mean,
that
dude.
sturdy ground. Because if you let things go out of hand here with Caleb Williams, it's good. And by the way, the Bears fire GMs anyway. Who's
Ryan
got a
Poles-
lifetime contract over there?
I think most people think Ryan Poles should have already been fired. His draft picks have been a mess. He picked Rome Odunze when he desperately needed offensive lineman. This year, he's put Colson Loveland. Do you know how risky that pick is?
So this is what I'm saying. You're telling me that Caleb Williams might not have any power in the organization because he already put pen to paper on his rookie deal.
But
And I'm
you
telling
said-
you, no way.
Yeah,
There's a million ways this thing could still go if Caleb Williams is not happy. And basically, this article and book they're putting it, guys, this is not anonymous sources.
Yep.
This is not sources close to Caleb Williams. It's out of his own mouth that he said, I wasn't ready to nuke the city yet. It doesn't mean now you're just biding your time, hand over the red button until he decides to order the code red.
But
that's how I would feel.
It never happened. First of all, if he plays badly, you think that I understand what we're talking about today. You don't think people out there are going to blame Caleb Williams? There's already whispers he doesn't work hard. Then this story kind of said, oh, it's on the team. I mean, if he has a bad season, say he throws 16 touchdowns and 16 picks and they're 5-12, you think there's going to be a line of 16 teams wanting to get this guy? That's not how it works. It's going to go on the quarterback.
You have an unproven
It's not the
head
NBA
coach.
where you can see the talent, obviously. I think a quarterback, you have to see the production. Nothing like this has ever even come close to happening. When a guy's a bust, a number one, everybody puts it on him. He doesn't sign for $50 million on his next contract.
Right. And I will tend to agree with you, except for a point that you bring up to me constantly and that you've already brought up once this morning. It's the Bears.
Yeah, but
it's the Bears.
They can ruin anybody.
Exactly. So who's going to blame Caleb?
Well, no one's going to blame
They're obviously going to blame the Bears. They're going to give Caleb a million more shots. And you bring up Sam
He'll
Darnold.
get a million more shots at the league minimum. He's going to be Sam Darnold. He's going to be every number one pick who floats around a million times.
Well, just for one little small detail about Sam Darnold, the Panthers picked up his fifth-year option, which was $20 million. And here's the thing.
That'd be great. But we're not talking about him pulling a James Harden and pulling a power play.
I'm just saying and Sam Darnold didn't nearly have the fanfare coming out of USC that Caleb did. He didn't win the Heisman.
No.
He wasn't thought of as a generational talent. He had a phenomenal Rose Bowl against who was at Penn State. Sam Darnold we'll see what happens with Seattle, but he was living off of not a lot of college starts and that amazing bowl game. Caleb Williams is on a completely other path in terms of hype and expectations and all of that stuff. People will blame Chicago. They will not blame the player.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. But here's
you just said the opposite. I'm saying that's not true.
I understand what you're saying. By the way, Sam Darnold was a guy that was going number one all season long. To say that he wasn't hyped, he was a guy that people were talking about tanking for. He definitely came into the season as a number one and ended up the number 3. He was no small deal at all. Sam Darnold he was awesome, and he's way bigger than Caleb too.
Not on Caleb's level when it comes to hype.
Yeah, not on Caleb, but he was definitely one of the most hyped coming into the season. He was one of those surefire number 1 overall picks. And
and a lot of people blame the Jets for why his career got off the rails. I'm telling you,
but
they're not going to blame Caleb. They will blame the Bears.
Yes.
They will side with Caleb.
They will side with Caleb, but I'm telling you right now, if he plays badly, just the way this business works, it's going to go on him. I know today it feels like the Bears, and I know Bears ruin quarterbacks. I know it's the system.
Yeah.
But I don't think everyone else realizes that. For example, you could look at, honestly, I think Trevor is probably a better quarterback than he is. I just think it's been a sort of tumultuous team-building organization there. But people blame Trevor. You blame Trevor all the time.
Listen, but I'm not giving up on him by any stretch. Also,
but giving up. But is he able to pull a power play? No.
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't know about that because the Jags are a mess. We'll see what happens now with Travis Hunter. Nobody trusts them. The Urban Meyer hire was a complete disaster, and I did not mean for that to rhyme. But this is the thing. Trevor Lawrence doesn't seem like he has the personality to do something like that, right? You have to, it's not just any person who talks to a reporter on the record who says, I wasn't ready to nuke the city. I just can't imagine that coming out of Trevor Lawrence's mouth. It does take a certain type of personality. And from what we've heard about Caleb Williams, there were, before the draft, whether he wanted an ownership stake in the Bears, and obviously he had this, reservations about going there, which I totally understand. He seems like a different kind of cat. GQ magazine, huge spread after you lose 10 games in a row to end the season, and you're in GQ in Rotterdam, posing in some kind of raincoat. I mean, clearly this guy he thinks he's amazing, and I think he is too. Even though we don't have the evidence of that from year one of his NFL career, I think he's cut differently. And not every guy is cut out for the nuclear option, but it looks like Caleb Williams might. So I can't use Trevor Lawrence or Sam Darnold as an example because those guys are too mild-mannered. They were never going to explore this.
Yeah.
We have evidence now from their own mouths that Carl Williams and Caleb Williams, dad and son, were talking to labor lawyers. We're thinking about the United Football League.
Were.
They went for. Do you think they lost their numbers? They went pretty far. Well, the labor lawyers can't do anything now.
I mean, he's clearly going to do 4 years in Chicago.
Okay, well, maybe.
Yeah, you're talking about like the 5th year. What happens? Is this what we're? Because there's things aren't going well this year. I want out of Chicago. Unfortunately, because Carl Williams has found out that CBA is pretty ironclad.
Yeah, and it's
crappy.
I
What
get
are we actually talking about here? So,
well, that's why I'm leaving that part of it to the side because nobody knows how this is going to go if things start going poorly in Chicago. If Ben Johnson isn't God's gift to NFL coaching.
Unlikely, but go ahead.
Sure. Let's just let our minds for a second explore the fact that he may not be the next Bill Walsh.
There's no way this guy's not going to be a good offensive coach, but please go ahead.
Okay.
Offensive coach. I don't know if he's a good head coach.
Okay. He's a great play caller.
If Caleb Williams cannot work it with this offense, then I don't know what's happening.
I'm just saying we got insight here into the psyche and how of star players thinking about their franchise. And they're going to say it's great now. But if you just weren't ready for the nuclear option, but you explored the nuclear option, that means it's not totally off the table, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing. He's just not going to have it. I mean, the most common take on the last year's draft is, man, Chicago should have taken Jayden Daniels. Like, Caleb Williams' star is not where it was. He has not even 1/100th of the leverage as he had coming in. He's probably going to end up being the 4th best quarterback in this class. I think.
Well, it's a little early.
Well, I mean, I think Jayden Daniels obviously is on a rocket ship. I think Drake May looked pretty darn good. So now I think Caleb is competing with probably. I mean, I think people are picking the Patriots to go to the playoffs. I keep hearing that left and right. I don't think Caleb is anything like where he was coming into the draft. He was this phoenix. Oh my God, Caleb Williams! We got to get Caleb Williams, and then it became pretty clear. Okay, he's just another he's another quarterback. Yeah. I mean, Jayden Daniels is obviously the star of this class, and I don't think anything's going to change there. I love Ben Johnson, but there's no way Caleb Williams is going to have a better season than Jayden Daniels in Chicago. I mean, it's still a place where quarterbacks go to die in one part because you're playing on grass and you're playing in the wind, and it's not logistically. I think Caleb Williams wanted to go to Minnesota for 2 reasons. That was another part of the story. He wanted to play for Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
It's indoors.
Yeah.
This is not. There's a reason quarterbacks are not great in Chicago. He's not going to have 50 touchdowns and 7 picks and be like, "Listen, Chicago, I hold the cards now." That is not what's going to happen here.
I love your level of delusion, not thinking there's a level of delusion on their part that they can move the chess pieces around the board. It might not even be delusion, by the way. Our very own Andrew Kaplan's in our chat. The Bears are a disaster, says Kaplan.
Yep.
And I wouldn't want Williams. The Bears should trade him now. Cap's on one this morning.
Wait, what do you mean? So the Bears should trade him?
The Bears should trade him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, too. You're pretty confident this guy's a good quarterback. TBD.
Hey, listen, he's in Chicago. He's
I mean,
get out of there.
First of all,
he might need the nuclear option.
I loved him when he ran around at USC and would rocket the ball 50 yards downfield. I don't know who's to blame here. I do think that the Bears just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. They got him they drafted a tight end after drafting a wide receiver last year. Every time I talk to a quarterback, they want linemen. They did sign a bunch of linemen, but that's not how you build a quarterback. Why did they draft Rome Odunze last year when they already had DJ Moore and Keenan Allen? I didn't understand it. So we'll see. Maybe they're going to be really good. I think Ben Johnson. Here's the thing about Ben Johnson. He's a great run game coach.
Yeah.
So that is what Caleb needs. He doesn't need a nuclear option. He doesn't need anything. He needs a run game. And I think this idea that he's going to pull a James Harden is fantasy, Mag. I don't think you can do that in the NFL.
888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. So Caleb Williams, I would say this is, not how you want a marriage to start.
Well, I mean, listen,
I'm a year into my marriage and I found out that, if I found out my husband was consulting divorce lawyers before we even walked down the aisle, I'd be like, huh.
Can I ask you a question?
I can't unsee that. I can't unhear that. Yes.
Do you think Carl Williams was right? Do you think he should have pulled a power play?
I don't think it would have worked.
I think it might have.
The UFL, the
No, I
United Football
know,
League,
but
that wasn't going to work.
He really could have. I think if he could do it again, he would have pulled an Elway. I really do. I think that John Elway, of course, famously didn't want to go to Baltimore, did go nuclear on Baltimore.
Yeah, Jim Kelly did the same thing. On Buffalo, ironically, ended up still going to Buffalo and becoming a legend there.
But it became way more personal with Baltimore and John Elway. That became a feud. I think that if Carl Williams could do it again, he would have gotten him to a different offensive coordinator, like Cliff Kingsbury.
I think there was a real life. Well, listen, and Caleb's from D.C., and there was maybe some things there, but I think there was a real life calculation going on that Caleb was already dealing with some negativity coming into the draft, which was, is he a me first guy? Is he a good locker room guy?
He painted nails, crying on his mother's shoulder after a game.
I mean, some stuff a little obviously more flimsy than others.
It's not saying we think this way, but the football people think that way.
Yeah, and by the way, he's still painting the nails, so everyone's got to get over it. But I think I think he was probably trying to fight that stigma. Like if you pull this move, you basically validate what people like Colin Cowherd and others were saying about you.
Yeah, that you're a me first guy. Yeah. You're so right about that. But I think if he could have a time machine, he would go back and say, I'm not going to Chicago. Because he knew what you do, that this Eberflus, Ryan Poles ownership group marriage was flawed.
Oh, I've never seen the country rooting for someone to get fired on Thanksgiving more than Matt Eberflus.
Oh, my God.
It was like,
poor Matt Eberflus.
It's a national holiday. Everyone's like, fire his ass.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to. You don't want to send the number one overall quarterback to a defensive coach anyway. It's like giving the number one guy to Todd Bowles. You just don't do that.
888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. Okay, so what do you think about this Caleb Williams marriage with the Bears? We going long term or short term here? I don't feel great about it. What about you? We got the Nuggets forcing a Game 7 last night, so that's going to be exciting. And a thought on the Cowboys coming off of the schedule release. Who's the real America's team? Get into that next, M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. A lot going on. Started off the show discussing Caleb Williams. It's amazing how we read all the quotes from the ESPN story, quoting Seth Wickersham's book on Caleb Williams completely differently. You saw these quotes as current history, as living history. This, to me, is all done. He got screwed. He went to Chicago. It's nothing he could do. He's there. Maggie, you disagree, thinking, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm nervous about Caleb Williams' attitude toward my team.
Yeah, definitely. We found out that the father and Caleb were exploring labor lawyers in the United Football League and talking to Archie Manning about how to get Caleb away from the Bears. And then a pre-draft, visit, I guess, changed Caleb's mind. He calls the father off, calls off the dogs and trying to do anything. But the quote was, Caleb said, I wasn't ready to nuke the city. I mean, that to me is not exactly scream love story. Now, things change, and I'm leaving. I'm not trying to root against Caleb, and I'm not trying to root against the Bears. I'm just saying if I was a Bear fan, I'd be like, oh, crap. This guy is supposed to turn the tide. He's supposed to be the first 4,000-yard passer in our history. He's the one who's going to change this horrible, long history of mediocre Bears quarterbacks. We finally got a lifeline here, and I'm now way more nervous about the future of Caleb in Chicago.
Because they knew he didn't want to go there. I mean, everybody knew that. That was a barely hidden sort of secret, just based on, I'm not saying everyone knew it, but logic said, I don't want to go to this team. Like, he was a hot young quarterback from USC. Do you think he wants to go to Chicago where quarterbacks go to die? Of course he didn't want to go there, but he did. Now he's there. There's nothing he can do about it. Nothing the Chicago fans can do about it. You've got to have to make this marriage work.
Let's go to Nick, who's in Washington. Nick, you heard about this story and thought what?
Well, hey, Maggie, I've called this station a number of times and have never been able to get through. So I'm very thankful to get through tonight.
You got a right number? 888-710-4ISN. We changed it recently.
I do, and I have in the past too. You guys have just been so busy.
Well, there's a big sign saying "Don't let Nick in Washington on." It's giant. It's like
You're
number one rule.
Because I'm going to try to oppose everything that you're saying here.
That's nothing new.
Particularly you, Maggie.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is one of the biggest overrated quarterbacks all time. I mean, I wouldn't say that. he's right up there with Johnny Manziel or anything. I mean, that was Johnny's own behavior that, stricken his own fate there. But I don't know much about Caleb Williams' father, but I mean, he must have like an Ivy League degree in marketing or something, because Caleb Williams he's good. He's athletic. He's handsome. He's charismatic and everything. But when it comes down to it, always at the big moment, he makes a mistake. He throws an interception. He does something stupid. You got Michael Penix. You got, of course, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, so many other players, and there's probably like a half a dozen or a dozen more quarterbacks from small colleges, all within his same.
Wait, Nick, hold on one second. I understand you don't love Caleb Williams. You may think he's overrated. The traits are there, man. Like I'm going to just disagree with you on that. And by the way, we could go into all these guys. Michael Penix threw some ill-advised interceptions. So did Bo Nix.
How many seasons has Caleb Williams had during his college career where he had, say, less than 3 losses?
Yeah, but Nick, you're a football fan. If you watch USC, which it sounds like you definitely did, what was the problem on that team? Their defense was ranked 1 millionth in college football. They couldn't stop a nosebleed, as my friend Bart used to say. You cannot put all that on Caleb.
Caleb Williams was part of the problem. When it came down to it, to big moments, he made mistakes. He threw interceptions. Caleb Williams was and is part of the problem. And therefore I say he's way overrated.
I don't know, man. I understand he didn't have a perfect career. Nick, thanks for the show. You're definitely not banned, by the way. Disagreeing with me is basically a prerequisite.
We're ending the Nick ban, I think. That was a good call.
No, it was a great call. And
but by the way, you just said traits for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams isn't in the draft. We got to see him for a year in the NFL.
Yeah, with Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron.
Yeah, but I mean, the traits conversation was a long time ago. I think Nick... Listen, I think Nick was closer to how most people view Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is uber talented, but there does seem to be something missing. It might be the coaching, but there's definitely, I think most people think...
Lincoln Riley has won what? With all those quarterbacks that had talent, that are starting in the NFL, that are on second contracts.
They all killed it immediately the day they walked in the NFL, and Caleb did not.
Well, he was going to the Bears. You're just talking about how he goes to a place where quarterbacks went to die.
But nobody cares where eventually the quarterback, unfortunately, once you get slotted to that spot, like Ryan Leaf probably could have been good if he went to a different team, but nobody cares. They're still going to call him a bust. I think if they had an open draft right now from that quarterback class, I don't think Caleb Williams goes number 1.
Okay. He might not go number 1 because Jaden Daniels was right there going number 2. It's not like Jaden Daniels fell to 32.
Well, I think it would go Jaden Daniels, Drake May, then Caleb Williams. And I think that, I think teams would weigh Bo Nix and Michael Penix against him too.
Bo Nix got to go play with Sean Payton.
I understand, but you're saying that Caleb Williams, because he was so awesome at USC, and he was, I agree, it was a defense. Like, that doesn't mean anything now. He's already a year into his NFL career.
Okay, I'm
you're
sorry.
viewing him as this transcendent superstar that teams are dying to get. I think everyone's watching him and wondering, I want to see what this kid does.
It's his fault that his team gave up a freaking Hail Mary on the road to the Commanders. It's his fault that his coach couldn't call a timeout when they're about to beat the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. Guys, get a freaking clue. Like, everyone killed me yesterday because I said the Warriors, Jimmy Butler could win a game even without Steph Curry. You're like, no, Maggie, you don't know basketball. It's a team game. What about football? Football's not a team game. You're blaming Caleb Williams for that rookie year. Get out of here with that.
But you're saying he has all this leverage. I don't
said he's
know.
got talent.
Yeah, we know he has talent, but the way you were talking about him is like he is this amazing player that everyone would kill or die to get. I think the NFL is like, ooh, let's see what happens this year.
The Giants traded back into the first round for Jackson Dart. Are you kidding? Yes, I think Caleb Williams would have a market. Yeah, I think he would have a market.
But you described like it'd be like 5 first-round picks for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is never going on
this isn't the NBA yet.
Caleb Williams is not going on the trade market. There's no NFL leverage trade. That kind of trade just is not a thing. He's going to have to play this out with Ben Johnson until at least year 4. And at that point, if he's good, then Chicago re-signs him. If he's bad, then he floats around. That's just how the NFL works.
And there's no part of you that thinks if things go badly with Caleb Williams in Chicago for the first 4 years, right? And let's say that he goes somewhere else and kills it.
Oh, he could be good.
Right,
but,
so whose fault is it
But
really?
It's not like you said, like James Harden was when he got traded, it was big expectations, lots of draft picks. Like he'll probably sign for $10 million a la Justin Fields. Like it'll be his next deal. And this is how the NFL works. There's no scenario where Caleb Williams is like, you know what? I don't want to be here. Send 2 first-round picks and give me a $50 million contract. That's not going to happen.
2 conversations going on. One is Caleb Williams clearly felt like he had leverage before the draft. Is there any way he could do anything now after the fact?
I don't think that should be a conversation because that's a hard no.
Okay, well, I know how you feel about that. And then the second conversation is, are you really writing off Caleb Williams? Because that's what it sounds like. You're like, he would not get picked number 1 if we had an open draft now.
That's not writing him off. I mean, he could be good, but I think right now, I think most people view him as a little bit below the Jaden Daniels type.
Well, Jaden Daniels had an all-time rookie year. So, yeah, right in this moment of time, if you're prisoner of the moment, of course Daniels looks light years ahead of him. But you want to put Ben Johnson in the Hall of Fame. So what is it? Is he going to thrive with a great offensive coordinator, or is he going to be a bust? Because it looks like you're talking about both options here.
I think it's going to be totally in between. I know that's a cop-out, but I think he's going to be improved. But I have trouble seeing him taking that huge of a leap in his first year in Ben Johnson's offense. Probably will take more time. Yeah, I guess I'll have to admit I have trouble seeing him being a generational star in the NFL yet. I think he's definitely going to improve this year, but it'll be somewhere in between where they're going to be working on it and be like, oh, I think we got something here, and then next year put all the expectations. It's kind of hard to expect him with a coach. I was thinking about this. Has there ever been an NFL star who had one coach in year 1, then got a whole new coach in year 2, and just like completely got it immediately? That's not how it works with draft picks. You generally don't want your number 1 overall pick to have 2 offensive coordinators in his first 2 years. This is a bad sign. He's in a tough spot. So, but I just don't think. Also, I watched him. Like
I would say Trevor Lawrence got much better the second year with Doug Peterson. Yeah. They made the playoffs. Urban Meyer was a disaster the first year. He got fired midseason. You know, I don't think Trevor since then hasn't been amazing. But you're asking me, did a coach upgrade somebody?
That's a good one.
And they did.
He didn't go to 50 touchdowns. Like he didn't become what we were hoping with Trevor Lawrence.
Let's get to Bogusch. He's got headlines for us. You're welcome to weigh in. Clearly, we feel strongly about this. 888-710-4ISN. How do you feel about Caleb Williams? Bogusch, what happened last night?
Mom, Dad, your headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Last week, I kind of didn't feel well, so I stayed home for 2 days. Jamal Murray is tougher than me.
Gordon peels off to the right wing, throws out of Murray for 3. Yes! 11-point lead for Denver, 93-82. And this is Denver's big lead of the night.
Jason Kosmiski on Nuggets Radio. Denver was down 10 late in the third, flirting with elimination, then rallied for a 119-107 win over the Thunder. Murray finishing with 25 points and 7 assists after being downgraded during the day to questionable with an illness.
I woke up, was feeling it, went to the clinic, got tested for a couple different things. It was negative, so happy about that.
Man, you don't have one.
But I was always going to play in my mind. So I'm glad we got the win. Give ourselves some life and a chance to win the series.
What are they testing for in that clinic?
Sorry, I just jumped on that. I was like, Manny, can you explain how that all works?
You don't have COVID, but you have VD.
Yeah.
Go out there. No,
we're going to preemptively give you some penicillin after what happened on Friday night.
Here's what's funny to me. It's like Jamal Murray has made $200 million. Was that the last contract? Something around there? He's still got to go to a walk-in clinic? No one can come to him? They have no one from the team doctor?
How it works for rich people? I actually didn't even know that.
What rich person is walking into the urgent care?
I don't know. So you're saying a doctor comes to your house when you're that rich?
I would assume so.
Really?
$172 million worth of career.
So the doctor just leaves his hospital and drives to Jamal Murray's house? Doesn't he need like his stuff?
No, I mean, you'd think that
test for COVID.
The Nuggets have a person that would help you out immediately.
Go to the facility.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying team doctor comes to his house because if he's really sick, I don't want him to come to the facility because we're about to play Game 6 with a trip to the Western Conference Finals on the line. So I don't know if I want you infiltrating.
Right, but don't you need all your tools and things?
Well, what do you think he's doing? Get an ultrasound? I mean, they're sticking a thing up his nose.
Well, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what Jamal. Still don't know what he had, but I would assume you need like the thing that you hit the knee with, and you need all.
No,
they're
not doing reflexes.
They're getting tetanus shots.
They're not waiting with the thing with the stupid thing sliding across the bar.
Honestly, I did
He's
not
doing
know
an eye
that was a
test
rich
as well
person thing where doctors come to your house. I've like house calls, like in like Missouri.
The 50s?
Yeah.
I was born in '97. I don't know what a house call is.
So like NBA players, like Joel Embiid has a doctor come to his house.
Well, I mean, probably.
I mean,
I'm
Joel
learning.
Embiid's probably got somebody on retainer.
Yeah, especially him.
You know, someone would call him, give you an IV maybe if you're not feeling great. You
They
think
bring
you
like
go
the
to urgent
IV
care?
stand to your house.
Yeah, and like why?
I mean, that's a real thing for anybody now.
Yeah, you can do that. But here's the other part: is Jamal Murray sitting next to like Bill in Denver, who's like in an overcoat, like coughing.
I've been here for 90 minutes.
The guy's about to play Game 6.
I would think you might do it at the facility, keep him in like a side room. But I mean, obviously they brought him. They weren't scared. They brought him in and put him on the court.
I don't
He
think
said the clinic.
I don't think he's walking into urgent care. I think the clinic at the facility. That has to be what he meant.
I have a question for you. Do you think the people who own the Nuggets or the Walmart people, do you think they go to a walk-in clinic when they're feeling under the weather? I'm going to say no shot in hell.
They go to their own clinic. They go to their own little Walmart pharmacy.
They do have a whole pharmaceutical company at their beck and call. Now I'm going to look around the next time I'm in urgent care. It's like, are you a billionaire? Are you a millionaire? Maybe we're all in this together.
Wonder if Steve Cohen goes to a urgent care.
Yeah, right.
Whatever happened, Murray played well, so
Steve
we're
from
getting the
Queens.
Game 7 in OKC on Sunday. Thunder head coach Mark Daignault on moving on.
We need to be who we've been all season and embrace the opportunity that's in front of us. We get to play that game at home because of the work we did during the regular season in front of our fans. So, we're obviously disappointed in the outcome tonight, but when the ball goes up in the air, we'll be excited to go.
The Thunder have only lost back-to-back games twice this season.
Wait, sorry, can I jump in for a second? What if you have to do a strep test? They immediately put it in the strep test machine. You can't carry that to Jamal Murray's house. You have to do that at the facility.
At the clinic.
Right.
Yes, so
But
he has to go to the clinic.
But it takes a couple hours to get the results.
No, they have a 15-minute one now. I do it with my kids all the time.
Could he also just do, but you do that at your house?
No, you do it at the clinic. You have to. No, we don't have a strep. You do it for COVID, but you have to go to the clinic because they have all the different testing machines. So I'm thinking this logistics through. Maybe we could call Jamal Murray. That's like I have to know now.
Call Dr. Rock. See if he ever text Dr. Rock.
He's
and
a
see
foot
if he ever,
doctor. He doesn't know
I'm
about
just saying,
infectious diseases.
Ask if he's ever made a house call to a famous athlete.
I guarantee he has not.
Well,
because
he might need his stuff.
I was just thinking the Walmart guy could just go to the doctor's office, which is probably super nice, and he'll open it at any time. That could be an option too. That's, by the way, what would have made more sense for Jamal. Instead of going to the CVS, maybe going to the doctor's office.
Do you remember being a kid getting strep? I don't know if they still do this, where they rub it on the sheep's blood. Did you guys ever have that?
No, I've never heard it. That might be a Binghamton, New York sacrifice.
I'm listening.
That's what they did on the farm, guys.
Remember when they just prayed if you had strep?
Lesions or like leeches on you.
They just gave up. They just gave up when you guys were
connected
into the
amputate.
Kid has strep.
I still don't totally understand.
Time
They
of death.
rub it on the sheep's blood? What the heck are you talking about?
Hold on.
What kind of cult did you grow up in?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
What's
I'm
going
right.
on in the 315?
I no doubt you are, but
Out in the 607.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Is that the year?
How's this work?
Permanently. A sample's placed on special plates made of sheep blood mixed with bacterial growth media called sheep blood agar plates and allowed to grow in a lab. And Streptococcus has a unique feature that allows it to break open red blood cells, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they rub it on like a red pallet, and I always wondered what that was. And I asked once, they said it's sheep's blood.
That's new to me.
Louise. And that's still how they do it?
Up in Binghamton. And I don't know.
What type of
poor-
1930 stuff is this?
And then we go
sheep-
milk the cows.
How many sheep have we lost because of strep?
Because Maggie's constant stress.
This is Binghamton,
Yeah, yeah.
New York, where sheep go to
Don't
die.
cover your mouth when you cough and you kill a sheep. That's how it works.
Just a bunch of sheep crying as they're getting loaded into the cattle car. Yeah, that's what they did up in our neck of the woods.
Yeah. I just, this house call thing, like, what if you need a different kind of shot? Like, oh, I didn't bring my penicillin shot. You need to go somewhere when you're sick. I don't think this, anyway.
One more level of overthinking this. Jamal Murray's Canadian. Is clinic, is there a weird lost in translation thing
I thought you
here?
were saying, did they have universal health care?
No, but like, is clinic in some way a slightly different word for him that we're not, that's why we're missing this.
Canadianese is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, in Canada, like, he would have been prescribed 2 Labatt Blue and man up.
Hit him with a puck and move on.
Get out there. Probably would have worked.
Two
Bogusch,
bats in a hockey game for you, buddy. You'll be all right.
888-710-4I-SAID. Got to take a break. Coming up, are the Cowboys
say?
still America's team? We tackle that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie Perloff Show. Pearl, we were talking about this a lot yesterday when the NFL schedule got fully released. And obviously the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys leading the way with the most standalone games. They're going to play each other on Thanksgiving, which is probably going to break all types of records for viewership. But Cowboys getting the home opener against your Eagles. They're playing Thanksgiving, of course. They're also playing Christmas this year. And all the standalone games that they usually get. To me, still America's team, but the Kansas City Chiefs are definitely gaining on them as far as national reputation. That's undeniable. And they could surpass them with a few more great years and a few more down years from the Cowboys.
Well, that's the question. Could they surpass them? But that's where I disagree with you. Chase Daniel kind of started this, former NFL quarterback, now on Fox, does a great podcast with Diana Rossini.
Yep.
This is what he tweeted. The Chiefs are the new America's team, playing on Christmas and now on Thanksgiving. Ratings king. He pointed out a couple things. Sustained success, 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes is the face of the league. They're in the middle of a dynasty. And last year, they were actually, for the first time in a long time, the most watched team in the league, 25.5 million average, more than the Cowboys.
Yep.
So here's the thing, though. Once the Patriots were that team, they're the Patriots. Like, they'll come and go. Dallas doesn't need to win, and they're still the biggest rating draw. So there's nothing. America's team implies that they're going to be America's team for generations. There's just... This is great, but you have to remember, Taylor Swift's going to be gone in a year. Andy Reid's going to be gone in 3 years. And Patrick Mahomes just is about to turn 30. He's probably going to be gone in maybe 7 or 8 years. Well, I know. But this is America's team implies that they will be recession-proof in the sense that the Cowboys haven't won a title in 30 years, and they're still the number one most hyped team in the league. Like, that's not America's team. That's just the hot team. That's the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think there were things that kept the Patriots from being from drawing in the casual fan in the way they did. There is something about that Boston market that seems very exclusive to people, not inclusive, and it's been that way for a long time. I don't know if somebody wakes up in Iowa and is like, I'm going to be a Celtics fan today. It's just something very, parochial? There's something just very insulated. It's the same thing with Philadelphia. I don't think people wake up. The Eagles have had all this success. They could become the next dynasty, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of bandwagon people. Other teams are more inviting. I think the Dallas Cowboys has generations of fans, right?
Right.
From all over the country. But here's the thing about how the Chiefs can get there. I do think they are one of those inclusive kind of fan base. Come one, come all. We're not going to scream and yell at you if you don't know who plays third base for the Red Sox right now and publicly shame you, which kind of feels like a Boston thing.
Right.
I think Kansas City is inclusive. And one other thing, for as much as Brady was amazing and, drive for your life, to me, I'd pick Tom Brady in a heartbeat. Mahomes, though, is so exciting.
Wait, just past tense.
What?
Mahomes could not have possibly been more boring last year, just so we're clear about where the Chiefs are.
I still watched him as he's falling to the ground, find a guy in the back of the end zone. Brady was surgical. He was
Tim Duncan, I know. Yeah.
He wasn't an artist. Mahomes is an artist.
No, but he's not anymore. Now they're a run-first defense team, which is ironic. They were terrible to watch last year, right? They didn't score more than 30 points in a single game until your Bills in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But... Yeah, I hear you, but you hit it with the generations of fans. You have to understand the Cowboys' success was born in the 70s. So now grandfathers or great-grandfathers had kids who they taught to be Cowboys fans. Then they were all primed for the 90s run, and now those dads are teaching their kids to be. The Chiefs disappeared for 50 years. There's no generations of Chiefs fans. So I just don't think it's going to catch fire like the Cowboys did. I think it's going to be a Mahomes. And also, I do think from this rating standpoint, I think this is a Taylor Swift bump as well.
Well, definitely.
That is going to go down immediately when Kelce retires.
Well, the other part, though, is, nowadays, I don't want to just paint everybody. Nowadays, it does feel like, and you're my example of this, beyond your Philadelphia love, you're really a fan of players over teams. And so I think there's just been a shift, and maybe Manny and young people are kind of rooting more for players. And I think Patrick Mahomes is far and away, head and shoulders, the number one star right now.
Right. Well, so when Mahomes is gone, kind of like when Brady left the Patriots, then I think all those fans leave with him.
Well, let's see. I mean, is it you totally taking out of the realm that Kansas City could have a Favre to Rodgers?
Yes. There's never going to be another Mahomes. By the way, you forgot about Chiefs fatigue. People were hating on the Chiefs last year.
Well, but now they get this weird underdog maybe roll
They
back
got killed
because
in
they
the
got
Super
smoked in
So
the
the
Super
best
Bowl.
thing for their popularity was to get killed?
We're weird like that. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Got a big question about Shedeur Sanders next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Nuggets forced to Game 7. Get into that in just a little minute. And Caleb Williams on the record talking about his reluctance at first to go to Chicago. Clearly he got over that when the Bears drafted him number 1 overall. But is everything cool in Chicagoland? We'll get that in a moment as well. But Perloff, good morning. We got to start with the Cleveland Browns, who ironically, no primetime games this year, as we learned yesterday. They are going to Europe for a game, but no primetime games. Yeah, Siberia.
Some people were surprised at that. I was not at all. Like, why would you put this Browns team? Because you hope that someday Shedeur is going to start. Why would the Browns be a primetime game? They were unwatchable last season.
No, it's just going to be funny that they are going to get the most attention this offseason, most likely.
That QB battle, yeah.
Of course, we love a QB battle. I mean, did anyone think the Steelers last year were winning the Super Bowl? We love that quarterback battle between Fields and Russell Wilson. It's just compelling. Yet, I don't know if the product on the field is going to be very good.
Yeah, the Steelers were unwatchable for most of last year.
So we're going to talk about them all summer, and then basically they're going to fade away, or we're not going to watch them in prime time unless they get flexed later. But there is a question now, because we love a quarterback battle. If it's Pickett and Flacco and we think that they're going to make the roster, that's, I think, both you and I are in lockstep about that. Then Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel could be the 2 wild cards here.
Wait, we're in lockstep about what? They're only going to keep one of Flacco and Pickett?
No, I think Pickett and Flacco are both going to be on this team to start the season.
I am definitely not in lockstep on that.
Okay, so how do you see this being laid out here for the Browns with the quarterback situation now that we have the schedule through the season?
I definitely think that they're going to cut one of Pickett or Flacco and keep both rookie quarterbacks. One, it doesn't cost them anything. It's a 3rd-round pick in Dylan Gabriel and a 5th-round pick in Shedeur. Why would you cut those guys? You don't need to put any real resources into your 3rd quarterback. So I think you're going to battle between Flacco and Pickett. They both have about the same guarantee, about $4 or $5 million. So you could cut one of them. I don't get it. I mean, Joe Flacco's the better quarterback. I would start him 100 times out of 100. He can compete against this AFC North schedule. I would start Flacco and then see how he does. We're going to get into the schedule in a minute. It's tough to start. And then I personally, with Kevin Stefanski as my head coach, I would go to Dylan Gabriel second and then give him a shot around let's say week 7, and then see how he does, and then go to Shedeur 3rd if Dylan Gabriel doesn't look like he's ready to go.
So Kenny Pickett, who they traded for this offseason, was actually technically the first guy in the quarterback room. We're just putting Deshaun Watson on an island here, but he's out. But,
yeah, because he's coming off of the Achilles.
Right, so, and all the other stuff. So here's the...
Oh, no, if he... No.
Well, okay, that's fine.
They would play him in a second if he was healthy.
But he's not good anymore. But here's the thing. So you think Pickett's gone?
Well, I think it's going to be Flacco or Pickett. I don't know who wins that. I mean, I could say I think it should be Flacco.
Right.
But it does seem like they have a fascination with Kenny Pickett. So if you're pinning me right now, I say Flacco wins, but I have no idea.
So I think what they're doing, and I think this is actually smart by the Cleveland Browns. They've got these 4 quarterbacks in this room. You've got a coach and a GM, maybe on the hot seat, maybe not. And you're looking at the season, it's going to be an interesting one. I understand starting Pickett. You've got a real gauntlet here to start the season if you're Cleveland, if you have not seen their schedule. Cincinnati, who I know gets out of the gate slow, but still, it's Joe Burrow. Cincinnati, then at Baltimore, Green Bay, at Detroit, Minnesota in Europe. You come back from that, you don't get a bye, you go to Pittsburgh, then Miami, at New England, then you're at your bye week. Well, that is rough.
That's some good opportunities to put up some yards. So Cincinnati's defense terrible. Baltimore lets up a lot of passing yards. Green Bay's good. Detroit, you could torch them in Detroit. That could be a shootout. So you're going to lose all those games. Don't get me wrong, but you could have some shootouts in there. Is that a good thing for the quarterback?
Well, if you're the Browns, though, you got to hope that can you hold the fort? I don't even know what that means. Can you go 4-4? I don't know.
See, I don't even think it matters. I think it's who looks good.
Okay, but see, I'm putting Kenny Pickett, I'm sacrificing him to the Wolves is what I'm saying for that beginning part of the season. Because I'm hoping that the rest of the AFC North beats up on itself and that this thing is going to be Like, maybe Baltimore's out in front. Maybe Cincinnati gets off to another bad start. And obviously we know Pittsburgh is going to be there right in the end, but, probably with like a 9-8 or something like that record. So I throw Pickett, to the Wolves here. Then coming out of the bye week, that's where I go to Flacco. Bye week in week 9, I come out of the bye, I'm at the New York Jets. Okay. Maybe I can win that game. Then Baltimore, then at Vegas. So now I'm getting maybe a little bit of momentum. You see how the season goes. If Flacco gets hurt or Flacco's ineffective, then to me, this is my bold prediction for the Cleveland Browns this year. I think Shedeur is going to beat out Dylan Gabriel in camp.
And when would he play then?
So I think that you are going to see, this is my prediction for how this is going to go. I think Shedeur Sanders ends up getting onto the field probably not until either week 17 or week 18 against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. And here's my prediction. I think he's actually going to play well. And that's going to be our next offseason story, right? So Shedeur appoints himself well, head on straight, reading the playbook, learning the playbook, excited. His teammates are getting involved, the whole deal. And that he creates a little bit of positivity at the very end of the season. And I think Cleveland misses the playoffs, but maybe not by a lot. And Shedeur kind of gives them this life. Myles Garrett saying nice things about him. Kevin Stefanski gets to stay. And I think that's how this season's going to go for Cleveland.
Okay. I think this is exactly how it goes down. I think one of the veterans is gone. I think they start the season with one veteran and 2 rookies. Then they actually, whoever that veteran is, plays pretty well because they had some really vulnerable defenses in the first 6 games, but they probably go 1-5. After they get back from the Europe trip against Minnesota, they're at Pittsburgh. I like your throw Kenny Pickett to the Wolves. I don't know how Pittsburgh's going to be. Their defense is getting old as all get out. Maybe that's a game you don't want to play him. Then Miami, week 7, that's when the rookie comes in. And I think actually it's going to be, for some reason, Miami, short kings going against each other, Dylan Gabriel, Tua, both the same high school in Hawaii.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Perfect symmetry. And I honestly,
not cold enough yet in Cleveland, though, for Tua. Tua could have a good game there. That's only October 19th. The frost, the permafrost hasn't set in yet.
But here's where I disagree with you. It's not about, to me, this season will not be measured in win-losses. It'll be measured in quarterback development.
Yeah.
And it's actually more of a tryout because they're going to have a quarterback next year. I don't think anything you said contradicts this. I think they're going to try out Dylan Gabriel and they're going to try out Shedeur and say, wait, do we have something here and not need to draft a quarterback high next year? So that I think they're definitely going to be looking more at the rookie quarterbacks and development and much earlier in the season.
Okay, it's an interesting theory. I guess here's my question, though. We love Dylan Gabriel. This is not a slight on him at all. He definitely was picked 50 spots higher than Shedeur, okay? But we don't think Shedeur dropped purely on talent and traits.
I agree.
So if it's just head-to-head, and let's say they're both awesome, and they're both being good teammates, and they're both being cool around the facility and positive and all that stuff, if it's just Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel going head-to-head in a straight-up QB matchup, not being weighted by personalities or fathers or anything like that, who do you think wins?
Well,
I think Shedeur does.
I think Dylan Gabriel was probably a little bit better a college quarterback. I mean, it's hard to tell because Shedeur was in this weird team, but Gabriel was awesome. I mean, the only problem with Gabriel, I think, is the height. And I just think that might be overstated. Like, Dylan Gabriel was amazing. There's no doubt about it. He just killed it in multiple different coaches, multiple different systems. In shorts, I think Gabriel's probably a little better because he throws like this beautiful spiral, comes out lefty. Shedeur, I've been watching all the clips. Shedeur looks good, but I don't think Shedeur like is blowing you away with his arm or anything. I think in short, still Gabriel probably looks a little better, but I think there is concern of 5'11", can he last in the NFL? The same with Tua.
Yeah, I know that we are on in Dylan Gabriel country, a.k.a. Eugene. Although also maybe Norman.
Well, and also maybe,
we're also on in
where's UCF? In Orlando or something?
Orlando,
Yeah, he was a killer there.
I know.
Dylan Gabriel's great. He's just short. I read Tony Grossi, who's the ESPN Cleveland. He was saying, like, you watch the two guys in practice. Clearly, one guy's spiral is ridiculously tight. Dylan Gabriel throws a gorgeous pass.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like it was created by the gods for a short quarterback. The problem is, can he see everything like Kyler? I think you are underselling Dylan Gabriel a little bit. I think he has real potential. You, by the way, loved him last year.
I do love him. I thought that going to Oregon was going to push him to the first round like Bo Nix.
He's going to the third round. It's not that different.
710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Now, I got my duck suit hanging in the office.
I mean,
brought it out in a while.
Gil Dabrow's, look at his numbers throughout college. It's like, whoa, this guy threw a lot of touchdowns for a lot of yards. On par, so did Shedeur. So the two of them had great college success. I think they're very comparable. I don't think it's a no-brainer Shedeur wins that battle. You watch the highlight. You look at Shedeur, he's not that big. He throws a decent ball. I don't think his talent is so overwhelming. You're going to, do you see something there that I'm not seeing?
See, I think you're saying that I'm underselling Gabriel now. I think everyone got a little too far on the Shedeur sucks side of the spectrum because he fell to the fifth round. We watched him in Colorado and we talked about it. We thought that he could be a first round pick. And then it changed. But we've gone back through with this fine-tooth comb to see, does he take a step backwards or a step forwards when he's now been dissected, I think, Shedeur, in a way that we've gone too far on the other end of the spectrum. He's not a crappy quarterback in college.
Right. But we never, even when people like Shedeur, never said he's physically overwhelming. He's undersized a little bit, not as undersized as Still Gabriel. Nobody said he has an A-plus arm. He's not the kind of talent. He's more of a, ironically, because people have been killing his character. He's more of a leader. He'll find a way to win. He's tough. Isn't that his number one attribute? Tough.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Well, we'll see when the Ravens,
when the
Ravens pass rush is bearing down on you.
You can't hit a quarterback in training camp, so tough isn't going to win you the training camp battle.
You can't hit a quarterback in the NFL.
I think honestly they're both about the same. I know that sounds weird, but I think they're both about the same. I think Dylan Gabriel going in the third round gives him a slight edge. I think they both play and early. I don't even think it happens till week 7. I think Pickett or Flacco are gone by then.
888-710-4ISN. Talking quarterback battle here. Very fascinating one. Again, no primetime games for the Browns, which may help them actually. Stay a little under the radar.
Under the radar?
When you got all these quarterback battles.
They've won one playoff game in 28 years. How low do they have to go under the radar?
Yet we're fascinated by them.
That's true.
And I think we're going to talk about them a lot more this offseason. Want to take this call from Kevin, our pal in San Antonio. Last hour, we were wondering whether Kansas City has now caught the Dallas Cowboys for the title of America's team. Kevin, what do you think?
What I think, good morning, everybody. I just finished my breakfast and worked out. To tell you the truth, I like more of Kansas City more because they don't have too much they don't have dysfunctional like the Cowboys. You hear the Cowboys it's like a soap opera. You watch, y'all report, then you see something come up, then all of a sudden they just yuck. That's a headache.
That's why we like them, Kevin. That's why we're paying attention. That's why they're America's team.
Yeah, they're America's hit. Dysfunctional team, too.
America's headache.
Nobody has an interest in a well-functioning organization.
Well,
what's the point of watching that?
Let's not pretend like Kansas City hasn't had some of their issues. I mean, they definitely have. It's off-the-field stuff. It's not the owner coming out to, say he's going to circumcise a mosquito, but...
You're so cute with that off-the-field stuff.
By the way, Kevin, can I just say, so Kevin's awesome. Kevin has been sending us a picture of his breakfast to maggieandperloff@gmail.com for the better part of... Are we up to 4 or 5 months now, Kevin? I mean, I love the ability, the stick-to-itiveness, the commitment here. So I've been looking at your breakfast every day for months now. I'm going to tell you, man, I think the pancakes are the best thing you have. They look the best.
Really, I like the pancakes I make, but I made a waffle slam this morning.
Oh, you haven't sent that one yet?
I ain't sent it up yet, but I'm going to send it to you.
Okay. I'm just telling you, right now, I would say if I was ranking Kevin's breakfasts, your pancakes look dynamite. Are you putting seltzer water or something there? How do you get them so fluffy?
Oh, no, I just put water. I put water and I mix it up. And sometimes I'll put cinnamon in it to make cinnamon pancakes.
Perloff, look at these pancakes. You're telling me you don't want to dive into that short stack?
Those look great.
They look amazing. Kevin, keep up the great work, man. Thank you. It brings me joy to see Kevin's breakfast every day. Have you checked maggieandperloff@gmail.com to see Kevin's breakfast?
No, I'm good. It looks amazing.
I'm surprised no one else is come in to try to challenge Kevin. Who does a better breakfast?
Put a call to action. By the way,
maggieandperloff@gmail.com.
One thing about the Chiefs, by the way, they have this documentary coming out called The Kingdom. It's going to present this incredibly professional, like, people are going to be so sick of the Chiefs after they watch this. It's not going to help. It's not going to do what they think it's going to do.
You don't think we're sick of the Cowboys?
No. I think the Cowboys are, because they're so incompetent, are endlessly fascinating. I think the Chiefs making smart draft picks again and again and again, and Andy Reid controlling all the drama. Like, this is good. I think the Chiefs fatigue is going to storm back. If anybody actually watches this documentary, I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, oh, people aren't going to like this.
Is there any Taylor in the? That's how you get people to tune
Not in the trailer, but it's just about
your ratings with Taylor.
It's one of those fluff documentaries. It's like, oh, it's called The Kingdom. It's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about how sick everyone was of the Chiefs. People don't get sick of the Cowboys. You have to admit that.
Disagree.
People, oh, my God. But then, yeah, I think people don't understand. Like, I feel like many members of the media, they don't understand, like, why are people fascinated with Cowboys? People like the train wreck aspect, I think.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We got that out there for you. Chiefs, Cowboys, America's team, they both have eight standalone games, the most primetime games of any teams in the league this year. We've learned that from the schedule. We also have some interesting quotes from Caleb Williams and his father about what could have been had they decided to take the nuclear option and not go to the Chicago Bears. They were making phone calls to labor lawyers, Archie Manning. We got a lot of detail that's coming out in a new book, and they're both on the record, by the way. This is not anonymous sources or people close to the Williamses. It's the dad and Caleb saying, we almost didn't go to Chicago. That can't be good. Also, I've got advice for Manny for tonight.
Huh?
It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, this NASCAR preview is sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck and Man Equipment. They're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. All right, Manny Tires, what do we got this weekend?
All right, guys, the Cup Series will be under the lights for the first time this season as the circuit heads to North Wilkesboro Speedway for a third straight year for its All-Star race. Yeah, that's right. The festivities will begin with the All-Star Open, a 100-lap qualifying race with a break at about lap 50 for drivers not eligible for the All-Star race. 3 drivers will advance to the 250-lap main event. The Open's top 2 finishers and the top vote getter in a fan balloting will advance to said main event. It's the All-Star race from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Action kicks off on Sunday, 5:30 Eastern with the All-Star Open, with the All-Star race to follow at 8 Eastern.
Maggie, that's your neck of the woods.
I know. And, I also love how Manny has really taken over this NASCAR beat because I feel like I want this to end with Manny, getting a ride in a NASCAR, in a car, in a stock car.
I would love to go 180 miles an hour around someplace.
I feel like we need that video in our lives.
Just feeling the
G-forces?
The G-forces just sink me into my seat. Oh, my God. It would turn my stomach, and it would be great content. A lot of cursing in Spanish, probably.
But then we can't air it. But
EJ can bleep it out.
I have some advice for Manny for tonight.
Oh, really? What?
Okay, so
vroom.
It's obviously a very pivotal Game 6 for the New York Knicks tonight.
I haven't heard
about that.
Manny's beloved New York Knicks up again on the ropes, feeling all the pressure in the world.
Well,
this is not going to be a basketball conversation. I just asked Manny any chance you're going to the game, and he said, haha, right. The get-in price is probably $10,000 or something.
Come on.
And then I asked, are you going to the watch party? They've been doing these really epic, for New York, this. We're not really known for this.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing these awesome watch parties right outside the Garden, and it's drawing quite a crowd, Pearl. It looks pretty cool out there, despite any reports of twerking grandmothers. By the way, our grandmothers in New York, pretty hot.
That's right.
I think that this would be fun. So here's my idea for Manny.
Find a twerking grandmother?
I did not know about these twerking grandmas. I'm going with you now.
What's Pam doing right now?
Oh, my gosh. They'd be lucky to have her. So, Manny, picture it. Outside the Garden, watch party, thousands of people. Mm-hmm. Knicks are playing the most important game they've played in a quarter century. Manny said he didn't have anyone to go with.
Mm-hmm.
I think you roll up solo.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, as Jalen Brunson is leading a comeback from a double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter, Manny, in his Iman Shumpert jersey,
I do have one.
locks eyes with a beautiful young woman across the plaza. She's wearing a J.R. Smith jersey. The magnetism.
Even I'm getting a little warm.
The earth stops spinning on its axis for a brief moment as Jalen Brunson is slicing through the lane with a signature finger roll layup as Manny and this lovely young woman decked out head to toe in Knicks gear.
Wait, did I miss the layup?
No, he's got the layup.
No, but did I see the layup? Did
No,
I see the ball go in?
You're too busy, locked eyes on this
individual.
This individual while she's locked into the game. She hasn't seen you yet. Oh, well, I guess you lock eyes. So, yeah, she sees you too.
All right.
Don't get lost, Mags. The earth stops on its axis for a minute. All things stand still. Crazy crowd around you. You don't even hear it. It drowns out because you are focused on this young woman. 2 diehard Knicks fans meet Game 6. Manny's got his next girlfriend for the summer.
It's kind of like we were getting a little Goodwill Hunting there. You could have it. They don't go to the game.
Well, we're already off to a rocky start. We're already off because I missed the layup. If I locked eyes with this woman and I missed the layup with Jalen Brunson, I think that's a bad omen. I think
he forested the trees here, pal.
Yeah.
trying to get you some companionship this summer. He didn't miss the
layup.
layup. You missed it.
Larry O'Brien will be my companion for the show.
For
the
man
summer,
is saying if he was in Goodwill Hunting and he was Robin Williams' character, he would have gone into the Fenway to watch the game and left the love of his life. That's what you're saying. You'd rather watch the game than meet the love of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
This is the biggest game in my life.
I totally get it.
And just like Robin Williams' eventual wife in that great story that tells in Goodwill Hunting, Manny's girlfriend will also fart in her sleep.
Got to go see about a girl.
I knew you were obsessed with that life.
Sorry.
Got a second fart reference for you.
Second of 100.
I could give you a choice. The Knicks win this series, and they lose in the finals to the Thunder.
Oh.
You have that choice, or you can meet your future wife and have 2 kids with her, but I'm not telling you how to marry tonight. Which would you take?
Give me the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah.
Manny.
Of course.
Okay.
Anybody could get married and have kids. That takes no special skill. Boom. I mean, dead serious. To get the Knicks to the finals.
that challenge.
Yeah, Manny, you're eventually going to have.
Have you met some people around here? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, anybody. I mean, listen.
I mean, Bilotti has been married twice, so I guess you're right.
Thank you.
These are more fun when he was here to be mad at me when I said that.
And by the way, I have a better scenario. Can I just paint my picture?
Sure.
Manny goes to the watch party. The Knicks win. He goes to Patty O'Brien's or one of these awful Irish bars in
Billy
around 30th
O'Houlihan's,
Street in Manhattan.
Big fan of Tracks.
Molly O'Sullivan's, yeah.
He's at about 2.9 blood alcohol level, and he slumps over onto a woman who's at about 2.4, and they make some mistakes.
And then, boom, I have a child.
Yeah, I like this story better, although it's Knicks lose, so they're sad drinking. And then they slump on each other.
They're so drunk. They're so drunk they don't even remember who won the game. Mine is much closer to reality.
Still in his Shumpert jersey.
Yeah.
Just don't keep it on.
Is there?
I don't know. Actually,
I
think you might keep it on. Yeah,
absolutely keeping that thing on.
Call me Mitchell.
Yeah.
Call me Shump if you want to. I don't care.
He did get Tiana Taylor, although now I think they're getting divorced.
He did all right. He did all right for a little bit.
Is there a romantic version of Go New York, Go New York, Go?
Did Adele sing one year there?
In your dream, is Ben Stiller on the sideline watching? I don't even know where that.
Fat Joe is actually
filming.
Yeah.
Fat Joe, he's bad luck.
Fat Joe.
Latrell is giving you a high five afterwards. Latrell's doing well.
Latrell's choking you. It's like, wait a minute, what? Did everyone consent?
I have the alumni all there as well.
Yeah, the alumni. Marbury running onto the court, being like, "Way to go, Manny."
I have all my forever Knicks like Lance Thomas, Lou Odmanson, Langston Galloway, all these superstars.
Wow, I think you're thinking of Lou Odmanson when you're there. Walt Clyde Frazier just puts a fur coat on you after you're done.
You're underestimating.
Who is this old man? Yeah. Get this guy out of here. Give me Eddie Curry.
You're underestimating Manny's sickness, Maggie.
The only problem
sickness of being a Knicks fan.
Give me Pablo Prigioni or give me death.
I mean, same question for you.
Yeah.
If I told you I would give you finally a Bills Super Bowl championship, but you lost your husband, what are you doing?
Well, he's also a Bills fan, so I think he would co-sign. He'd be like, sacrifice me.
That'd be a no-brainer. Andy would be mad at you if you chose the marriage. He'd be like, what are you doing, honey? We had an opportunity to finally break through, and you screwed it up.
I know. And he'd be looking down from heaven. No.
I didn't say he died. I meant he got divorced. Oh, my God.
Sorry, I wasn't sure where you were taking
him. You said lost, so I thought he died, too.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I meant divorce. I didn't mean death.
Well, the thing is, if we get divorced, I mean, could we still be friends?
Sure.
I
mean,
that doesn't count.
Co-parenting.
Yeah, that's a nice little fantasy there. You guys are be friends. Can you high five at the Bills parade? Yes, I'll give you that.
Can we lock eyes at the Bills parade?
No, too far.
All right,
See,
Manny.
I have none of these problems because my hands are weighted down with wedding rings and Super Bowl rings. I know. I don't even relate to any of this conversation.
Perfect marriage, perfect team.
Yeah.
Everything's coming up.
I don't know which one is less perfect. But
Manny, what do you think? Now, do you want to go to the watch party and you might meet the next love of your life?
No.
I'm telling you, man, this is a good idea because there's going to be chicks there who are big Knicks fans or casual. Well, you don't want casual. You want
a casual. I want one that was there watching Alexei Shved throw a ball over the backboard.
And that's who's going to be at a watch party outside of Madison Square Garden tonight.
In the rain, you said? Oh, yeah, I'm definitely out now.
I think it's supposed to rain.
Bro, I melt. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I see Manny and EJ talking about the Knicks. It goes well beyond romance. Like, romance is nothing compared to their connection to this team.
I mean, EJ sent cries of help from Mexico rewatching Knicks games on vacation.
It's
lighten
bad.
up, dude.
It's really bad.
Lighten up.
Lighten up.
No, you lighten up.
ESPN Deportes, baby.
He watched Thunder Nuggets the next day and tweeted about it. Get him some help.
Very understandable.
By the way, I was worried about our guy here yesterday.
Who?
Andrew Bogusch. I got a text that kind of concerned me.
Uh-oh.
Did you not? I didn't get to tell you about this.
No, and obviously he didn't send it to the group.
No, because it was at 4:00 in the afternoon. I'm doing meh.
Not meth.
No, I thought it said I'm doing meth. I'm like, what's wrong with Bogusch? He had a bad day? I was like, wow, he never reaches out in the afternoon for just tell me how he's doing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
E-check.
You're relying on Perloff of all people for some kind of mental health situation?
Well, that's what I thought. That's why I was as confused as you are.
Perloff's the most least sensitive person.
And he hates me specifically.
Yeah. You reached out to Perloff and said, I'm doing meh?
Okay.
And it's
Does
not
that look
meh?
like meh to you? It's MEEEH. I'm doing meh.
I'm doing meh.
So it turns out it was baby Theo Vaughn, I'm doing me.
But the second time he says, he's like, I'm doing meh. So that's what I was trying to spell.
So I was
you thought Bogusch was spiraling.
Yeah, I thought Bogusch was I'm just not feeling it today.
I mean, it has been raining for a month and a half.
I don't know. I'm doing meh. I'm like, this really concerned me. But you're right. I would never expect Andrew Bogusch to reach out for me. It turns out this is baby Theo Vaughn.
I'm doing meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you guys are all obsessed with on the show lately.
You're lucky I came in today.
What's that?
You're lucky I came in today. That's all I can do is watch these videos.
And you say you guys, like they have 470 million views.
Y'all
Baby
are crazy.
Theo Vaughn is basically running the country right now. So this is the
as
comedian.
long as he's doing meh.
And it's expanded. So it started with Theo Vaughn. Now it's everything. I just watched about a half hour of the movie Princess Bride in baby form.
My name is Diego Montoya.
Yeah. Actually, they didn't have the scene. They have the scene where they're doing the poison and the smartest man in the world as a baby. It's gold. He's like,
We're going to lose Bogusch. We better get to the update.
Today on ESPN2, the Knicks and the Celtics baby edition.
No thanks. This is obviously an AI filter, right? Where
those are real.
It's a real baby.
So I was walking. It's gotten so bad. I was walking the street yesterday, and there was somebody in a carriage. I'm like, oh, it's a real world baby Theo Vaughn. I'm like, does he talk?
Do something.
Wait, so what did you write back thinking that Bogusch was in crisis, not knowing it was a send up to baby Theo
Well, I quickly
Vaughn?
figured out.
Were you like, hey, buddy, you all right?
I'll read you the whole conversation. Dude, I was literally about to text you the exact same thing. I'm not kidding. I'm doing me. I spent a good hour today looking at other baby things. Bogusch, I can't stop watching them. Did you see the one about the dogs talking in other languages? No, dear God. Are we like teenagers addicted to TikTok? Yep.
Yes.
And proof of it.
Then we got proud of it, but I was
then we got into Theo's main viral one. Theo doesn't want to date a woman who can't swim because 80% of the earth is water.
I'm doing
Stone cold language.
Yeah, so when the tsunami comes, he doesn't want dead weight.
I ain't nobody's floaty. Oh, my God.
You guys.
And he's a baby.
He's a baby.
Bogusch is crying.
I know. It's my favorite thing.
It's so funny. It just, I don't know why this particular person lends himself to being AI'd into a baby more than any human being on the planet.
I know. I mean, I think we should do Perloff as a baby. I think you could be AI
I think
into a baby.
it'd be fine. You as a baby be cute, but for some reason it's magic when you turn Theo Vaughn into a baby.
The glee in baby Theo's face as he's talking about.
And the baby's got a little mullet.
Yeah.
his sense, maybe his sense of humor, and I think he'd be proud of this as that of a young child. Like, I don't know, something about it. But you'll like The Princess Bride.
Okay. Well, now we're gonna have to go back through all of our childhood.
And by the way, Cap is here today. Who does
so
our
we're
show?
getting baby.
We're definitely getting baby Bogusch.
Perloff.
Baby Bogusch looks exactly like Quinn Ewers.
Like baby Quinn Ewers. Just sitting disappointed meh in Miami right now.
I'm going to do meh.
All right, Bogues.
Well, the night after Luke Cornett saved the Celtics season, we got Julian Strawther in Denver.
Jokic has it inside the arc. He starts backing down Holmgren to the dotted line. Throws out of it. Strawther three. You the man! Julian Strawther, you the man! In game number 6. Timeout, Thunder. Nuggets lead it by 16.
Jason Kosmiski on Nuggets Radio. Denver, a series extending 119-107 win after trailing by 10 late in the third. Strawther hit 2 threes then to start this turnaround. He finished with 15 points after scoring 14 total in the first 5 games of the series.
The last couple of months, I've been dealing with injuries and being in and out of rotation, but just staying consistent to my routine and understanding that if I could put my work in, that I could trust and be okay with whatever happens out there on the court.
Nobody floaty.
That was from NBA TV. Nikola Jokic led Denver with 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. A sick Jamal Murray scored 25. So now we get a Game 7 in OKC Sunday. The Nuggets a little concerned with a hamstring issue that Aaron Gordon picked up late last night.
Can I ask a question? You guys are professional broadcasters. What is that you to man call? Who's he talking to?
Strawther?
Yeah, he's like, you to man. I thought that was kind of a funny call. That's clearly is that his signature call or something?
I don't know, but it was funny because he's like, you're the man in game 6.
Right. But he's
and
like,
at Gonzaga.
Am I the listener of the man? No. Julian Strawther can't hear you, dude. Who are you yelling at?
He might.
I just thought it was funny.
When baby Julian Strawther retelling this.
You're the man.
The all-time goals record will be Alex Ovechkin's lone accomplishment this season.
Now here's Jarvis. Could be a 3-on-2 for Carolina. Svechnikov. He'll get it right back from Walker, and he scores! A sharp angle! Andrei Svechnikov! He beats Thompson, and Carolina, with 1:59 to go, takes a 2-1 lead.
And they won Game 5 in Washington 3-1 to end the Capitals season. The Jets season could have ended last night, but Connor Hellebuck made 22 saves for a 4-0 win over the Stars. So now we get a Game 6 in Dallas tomorrow. Baseball last night, another Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night at Dodger Stadium. So he had 2 homers and 6 RBI, and they won 19-2 over the A's. The Dodgers won the last 2 games of that series by a combined score of 28-5. And don't feel bad if you've never heard of the guys that topped the leaderboard after round 1 of the PGA Championship. This is the first time in 30 years that there are no top 10 players in the top 10 after the first round of a major. Jonathan Vegas had the lead after a 7-under 64, 2 shots clear of Cam Davis and Ryan Gerard. Rory McIlroy, a 3-over 74 yesterday. He plays this afternoon. A handful of golfers are back on the course this morning at Quail Hollow. Guys, back to you.
I had no idea that Major League Baseball was sponsoring golfers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, why aren't they any better? We'd never heard of a lot of these guys. The casual fan hadn't.
Yeah.
And so Major League Baseball putting some major money behind Jonathan Vegas.
Yeah, I read the backstory on this. It started in 2014. I didn't even know it. And it was it was a golf agent who came up with this plan and pitched it to the MLB. And they're like, yes, let's go.
I don't get it.
Maybe it's, I don't know. I have no idea.
Have you ever heard of one sport sponsoring another sport?
No.
Aren't you guys fighting for eyeballs and stuff?
That's a great.
Well, not at 11 o'clock in the morning. There's no baseball, but.
Yeah, it's a good point. I feel like maybe. No,
the Super Bowl brought to you by the World Series.
It's thank you, Rob Manfred. Do they run? They don't run baseball commercials during the Super Bowl.
Brought to you by the World Series, presented by YouTube TV.
Yeah, it's
well, wait, but actually, they do run during a football game. They'll run baseball ads for the World Series.
That's
so
true.
Sports do cross promote,
but it's usually network for network.
Yeah,
Fox will run it because Fox is also doing the World Series. It'd just be funny if the Golden State Warriors were wearing a patch on their jerseys that was. The
Rangers
the
shield.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
The Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah.
Or the Utah Mammoth. Beg pardon.
Still getting used to that one. Bogusch, thank you so much. We've got big plans in our next segment. Not only are we trying to find Manny Love tonight, we also have some keys for you for what has to go down for Boston to put pressure on New York, and an NFL story you got to hear. It's M&P.
If there's a tsunami and you trying to get on my back.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff Show. Asking you today, who's America's team? Is it the Dallas Cowboys still, or now the Kansas City Chiefs? Man, do you mind throwing that up on the poll, please? At Maggie and Pearl on X. Here's another question for you off of, and we know the whole NFL schedule now. And don't worry, we'll get back to basketball, and we got all this other stuff for you, and Caleb Williams and everything. But here's a question for you now that you've seen the schedule. Who's a team, in your opinion, that's not getting enough love, and who's a team that's getting too much love when it comes to primetime games, front and center schedule, and clearly a team that the league wants to push to the front? Who's getting too much love? Who's not getting enough?
Can I start with the too much? And I said it yesterday. I don't know, why is there excitement over the Miami Dolphins in what is probably going to be the last year of the Mike McDaniels experiment? I just don't see anything. Like, this team has not won a playoff game in forever. They haven't gotten the NFC title game since 1990. I know that their offense is good, but I don't get this. Tyreek Hill is getting older. Like, this can't last forever. They never stay healthy. Why does the NFL think this is such compelling TV? They're right up there with all the big teams. I don't get it at all.
Well, I was wondering if maybe there was a reason they wanted to send Miami to Spain, because maybe, Miami, and this is not the only place in America, but obviously a big Spanish language.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Maybe thought they could get some hype people going to Spain. I have no idea. I'm grasping here. But I guess the other part is, I think there's a little bit of, I know it's going to sound crazy, but there's like glamour to Miami, is there not?
Like
it's
the
not
logo?
A glamour franchise in terms of like winning, but is there always something that's a little sexy about Miami and the Miami Dolphins?
I have no idea. I don't think, not really. I look at the schedule. I'm like, oh, wow, Miami's playing the Jets this week. That's like got 1 p.m. written all over it, right?
Yeah,
I feel like they always.
But that's not the primetime game, is it?
Well, regardless, I'm just saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're right. There's something about like the history, and maybe we're talking about the '90s history of the Cowboys translated. Maybe there's still a little Dan Marino glow, but in reality, like, what has this team done to earn any of that?
Well, one of the primetime games is a Thursday, and it's at Buffalo. And so I think the Bills have a little something to do with that, and it does have a really good rivalry. Their other primetime game
is that a good rivalry still?
Well, I mean, depends who you ask. And then they have another Thursday against Baltimore. So I think, the Ravens are doing a little work to help that. And then at Pittsburgh is Monday night. At Cincinnati is Sunday night. I think the opponent, they're not giving you, Dolphins Jets.
Yeah,
they're not giving you Dolphins Pats.
But I mean,
not yet.
I wonder. Yeah, you're probably right. But it's just, if you look at the list of teams that got the most primetime games, they do not fit in there. All right, what do you got?
So for my team who is not getting enough love, or I'll match you. The team that to me is getting a little too much love is the Minnesota Vikings. I'm surprised they have so many primetime games when they have such a big question mark at quarterback. And maybe Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy is going to be the next unbelievable marriage and pairing, and we're in for like lookout world. Here come these two guys. That's definitely possible, especially with Justin Jefferson. But I'm wondering, is it likely that J.J. McCarthy is going to have no stumbling blocks? Like, everything's going to be so smooth for him. Maybe getting to sit and watch for a year while he was recovering from injury is good. But I feel like they're placing a lot of faith, especially late in the season, on J.J. McCarthy being a thing.
God, I can't. I'm thinking about picking this team to win the NFC. I think they're stacked. And I love my Kevin O'Connell, as me and Caleb Williams, as it turns out. Yeah, I mean, it's a San Francisco 49ers situation. If you overwhelm a rookie quarterback with talent around him, that formula has worked a lot in the NFL. That's what they're doing here. That's why they got rid of Sam Darnold. They're like, we drafted J.J. McCarthy so we could put talent at every position. They fixed their O-line, which was their biggest problem last year. You have Justin Jefferson. Can you tune in for a receiver?
It helps.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but someone's got to get him the ball. And like, I watched when Kirk Cousins got hurt and they had to go to Dobbs and Nick Mullins and stuff like that. It didn't look as good.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy looked good in the preseason. I think
so did Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I think he's totally fine. I mean, I think J.J. McCarthy's going to be good. And I think most people kind of like.
Wasn't known to be he was a fine thrower in college, but that wasn't the game at Michigan. And now all of a sudden he's going to be feeding Justin Jefferson to the tune of 1,500 yards receiving. Really? That's the expectation? Kind of a lot on a young guy's shoulders, no?
You just have to throw it in the general vicinity of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Yeah, in this particular situation, no, I'm going to go system. Also, to J.J. McCarthy, yes, he handed the ball off 24 times in a row. But, I mean, it's not like, he was a big deal. He's been a big deal since 10th grade. Like, he was a generational type quarterback, so we know he has talent. He looked really good in the preseason. Guy's got a cannon. He can move a little bit. He'll be fine. All right,
the team that is not getting enough love, according to you and the NFL schedule makers.
I would have put the Jags on a lot more.
That's a good one.
Because not only Travis Hunter, but I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to be better this year. am I buying the Kool-Aid? Again, I love the trade in the short term for Travis Hunter because this is a team where he's going to have plenty of room to grow. So they're going to use him primarily on offense. He'll get on defense. I think he'll play a floating free safety, and he's going to come up with highlights on defense. I don't think he's going to shut down a number one receiver. And I love Liam Cohen and his weird Duval stuff. I think he's a good offensive coordinator. I think they're going to be a fun team. Are they going to be a great team? I doubt it, but I think they're going to be really fascinating.
Yeah, so 3 standalones, but only 2 prime time. So Kansas City on a Monday night in early October. And then, actually, I'm sorry, that's it. The next one is they play the Rams in Europe. How about this, though, for the Jags? It could help them. Back end of the season after the bye week, you're at Vegas, at Houston, Chargers, Cardinals, Tennessee, Indy, Jets, Denver, Indy, Titans. Be a playoff team.
I mean, it's the AFC South.
I know.
The Texans have the same schedule, though.
Yeah, I mean, Texans are going to have the inside track there.
Yeah.
Can I give you, but this could be a playoff team. I'm thinking about that a little, maybe place a little bet there. Anyway. My team that's not getting enough love, and we talked about them earlier in the show, I don't understand why the Browns are getting no prime time. Nothing. They're gonna be the story of the offseason. They were the story of the draft, a draft that more people tuned into and watched than any draft in the history of the sport. And then all of a sudden you're getting buried at 1:00, and also you got one game in Europe. So you do get a standalone. But that's it. I'm just surprised, and I'm curious if a flex comes through if Shedeur Sanders or even Dylan Gabriel, who was a big star in college too, if either of those guys take over.
Yeah, you make a great point. I'm a little surprised, but their games were unwatchable last year, except for the snow game against Pittsburgh. I mean, I get it. Like, they're a mess, by the way. I mean, all that being said, that team seems to have major, major problems. I really like Kevin Stefanski as a play caller, but I think the team's been poorly run. I mean, can we agree with that from ownership on down?
Sure, they made a horrible bet with Deshaun Watson.
It kind of feels, I think the NFL is looking at them and saying, wow, this team is probably eyeing next year's draft. Like, this team could be a top 3 pick. So you don't want a losing team. That's the only thing. I think they're just looking at wins and losses.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, that's probably the best thing for the Browns.
Yeah,
to win one or 2 games and then try to pick again for quarterback. And their schedule is not easy. It's a gauntlet coming right out of the gate with Cincinnati, Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota in Europe, at Pittsburgh, Miami, New England. I mean, there's not a lot of breaks here.
That's why they're such an odd fit for Shedeur Sanders, too, because he feels like he's a placeholder until next year, be it Garrett Nussmeier, be it Kate Klubnik, Drew Aller, whatever. So it didn't really make sense. That's why we're like, why is Shedeur going to Cleveland of all places? They already drafted a future backup in Dylan Gabriel, so they got that spot. And now Shedeur, I think the NFL is probably right. Like, there's nothing to see here. I'm down for the training camp battle. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to watch him in week 8. Like, do I need to see a 24-9 win for the Ravens over Cleveland?
I guess I just have the sneaking suspicion that that Shedeur's still going to be a story through the season. Like, we're not just going to leave that at training camp and then all of a sudden we're just not going to hear from the guy ever again. Like, something.
Right. But even if he plays, are they going to win?
Well, I don't know, but it would still be interesting because now the NFL basically gave him 2 middle fingers, this whole draft process. And if he can get some modicum of revenge, I think that would be compelling for people. And also, I think you're always kind of rooting, even though Cleveland's a train wreck, you're always kind of rooting for them to get one over on people.
That being said, rookie quarterbacks are always disappointing. I remember when Jameis Winston and Mariota got drafted, they put them against each other in week one. It was like 16-12. It was the most boring game. Like, he's not going to be good.
Caleb against Jane Daniels led to the Hail Mary. That was an amazing game.
I rewatched that game recently. It was garbage. It was hot garbage all the way through.
All right, coming up, speaking of Caleb Williams, what does he really think about the Bears? Uh-oh.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Moist pork so delicious, fashion icon, always ambitious, rocking the threads, fresh and clean, styling on the scene, living the dream. Loves Twitch, not YouTube, always dancing, never in the mood. Live streaming with 1 million views, sipping on success and paying his dues. Loves Baltimore, city of his heart, representing, playing his part, but hates bad callers, ain't no doubt. Gotta stay fly, that's what it's about. Moist pork so delicious, fashion icon, always ambitious, rocking the threads, fresh and clean, styling on the scene, living the dream. Loves Twitch, not YouTube, always dancing, never in the mood. Live streaming with 1 million views, sipping on success and paying his dues. Loves Baltimore, city of his heart, representing, playing his part, but hates bad callers, ain't no doubt. Gotta stay fly, that's what it's about. Otis Miller, Tampa Bay, loves the city come what may. Switching lanes, no time to waste, living life at an infinite pace. Maggie and Perloff on the radio, Infinity Sports, they steal the show. Talking stats, they know the game, turn up the volume, let your passion flame. It by days on the grind, fix it, take issues one at a time. But when the sun sets, he finds his groove. Live streams on Twitch, making moves, making moves. Otis Miller, Tampa Bay. Otis Miller, Tampa Bay.
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Feeling a lot worse about the marriage between Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears after recent quotes came out in a new book. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. So, we got a whole lot of honesty from Caleb Williams and his father, Carl, in an upcoming book by a friend of ours, Seth Wickersham, about how he felt about the Chicago Bears. His father saying on the record, Chicago is a place where quarterback goes to die.
Right.
Did not want his son to play for the Bears. Ryan Poles, the GM, though, said, we are taking you no matter what. But this didn't stop the Williamses from exploring labor lawyers, talking to Archie Manning, who famously steered Eli away from the Chargers into the Giants, and trying to even think about a way to go to the United Football League to try to get away from the Bears and find his way to free agency. The other avenue that they thought about that ultimately they didn't take was, in Caleb Williams' words, nuking the city, really just getting negative about Chicago to a point where the fans would have backlashed and been, upset about the team drafting him.
No, didn't he say, I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to nuke the city? So you're saying that was,
it was on the table.
I didn't think of that as a strategy to get out of there. But
they said a la John Elway did a similar thing to Baltimore back in the day.
So let me ask you a question. Does any of this surprise you?
I can't say that I fault them for having reservations about Chicago. A couple things surprised me. Number one, that they would be so honest about a plan they never followed through with.
Yeah, that surprises me too.
Right? So you've now...
You mean that they said it?
Yeah, kind of like, all right, here was our plan. We didn't do any of it. None of this came to fruition, but here's exactly all the avenues we were exploring. Like, once you say it, and it's in print now forever, and it's their own words, like, you can't take it back. You were trying to actively steer him away.
Well, I think part of this too, now I don't know exactly when Caleb's dad said this to Seth. I haven't read the book yet. So that
doesn't come out till September.
The timing doesn't. Well, did he say it before the season or after the season? Because I do think the Williams camp would want to paint last season as the coach's fault, not the quarterback's fault. So there's a reason they can say, we knew this was a mess. The fact that Caleb was just okay, he was pretty good. He was okay last year. The fact that he wasn't better had everything to do with the team. It was nothing on us. So that's what I would do as a dad.
Yeah, and there were some specifics about this year that are in this book, which is that no one was with Caleb to watch film. He was just turning on the tape, I guess, and trying to teach himself his mistakes. As someone in the chat said, I got to find it. It was a while ago. They said basically they had Weedos and purple drinkers were blocking for him on the offensive line. He took 68 sacks last year. That was a send-up to our fans, and also that was the record for the league. I guess here's my thing. I'm surprised that they would say it, because even if everyone's thinking about that, even if people, you and I say Chicago is the place where quarterbacks go to die.
Yeah, everybody knew this storyline. This is not sneaking up on anybody.
Totally. And the concerns about the head coach and the offensive coordinator, concerns saying that the CBA is not fair. Yes, sir, we know. All of these things are true. But you didn't follow through on any one of these. Like Archie Manning actually got Eli to New York. You didn't do any of it. So
but I get why he didn't, though.
Fine.
Because he was think about Caleb Williams, like he had Jaden Daniels breathing down his neck. He wasn't exactly in the Elway spot. I don't think he was looking at this situation. We actually had the discussion. If you're Caleb Williams, you just play ball and go to Chicago, or do you really hold out here? The problem is Chicago probably would have moved on to Jaden Daniels. Then he's falling. Then he goes 2, but I think Caleb wanted to go 1. There was a lot more going on there. He had some, you said in the first segment, he had some perception problems about his character already.
Right.
So he did not want to come out here and be a bad apple.
And to be honest, I think after these quotes come out, I think he had shed some of that, and I think it's coming back around, because when you give a quote to a reporter that says, I wasn't ready to nuke the city. I wasn't ready. That means that doesn't say I'm never going to do it. He may be ready at a different time under different circumstances. It may not be tomorrow. He's got Ben Johnson now. Maybe they actually turn this thing around and, Caleb Williams becomes this franchise savior. I'm just saying it doesn't feel like this is any great love story that's going on.
I think whoever, I don't know if it was Caleb Williams, somebody got the Chicago Bears to completely reverse course. Somebody pressured the Bears. There is not a franchise who could have done more to support a quarterback from year 1 to year 2 than what the Chicago Bears did. They outbid everybody to get the best offensive coach available. They drafted a tight end at number 10 when they had all sorts of defensive needs. They signed every offensive lineman they could get their hands on. So somebody got a message, hey, you better do what this team wants. The Caleb Williams team want. Like, I think if Caleb Williams was trying to send them a message through this story, message sent. Because what else could they do? Now they're giving him every opportunity. They're bringing all these other veteran assistant coaches. They brought in Case Keenum, my buddy, as a backup who's going to mentor him. He's another quasi-assistant coach. Like, this is perfect now. Now it's on Caleb.
Okay.
Will you give me that?
That may be well and true, but I don't know if Caleb's family sees it that way. And I don't know if they ever will, because I think that it's not just him specifically. But when you hear some of these quotes, like from his father, right, and let's put yourself in the mindset now of a modern college football player. You have free agency every year. You've now become accustomed to a certain lifestyle where you are really determining, for the high elite guys, you are determining more of your future and fate than you ever had before. So this is what Williams' father said to Seth Wickersham. I'm more interested in making sure that Caleb can do what he wants to do. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams can't become loyal to the Bears or can't become, again, that franchise savior. I just think that there is a belief now that if you don't like your situation, I'm going to change my situation.
Right.
He already changed the coaches, right?
Yeah, which he did. He changed it. He succeeded. I think this was it. I think Caleb's, I don't know if he directly pressured him, but Caleb's presence is why the Bears did all this. So his father famously steered him to Lincoln Riley and then followed Lincoln Riley. Like, his dad wants him with a good coach. Like, I think his dad got what he wanted out of all this.
And that's fine. But you to me, I know why you like him, because he's a great play caller, but I think that we are a little over our skis at first with Ben Johnson. He's a great play caller. That doesn't mean he's going to be a great head coach. And there are a lot of potential obstacles here. First of all, you're the Bears head coach. Good luck to you.
Right.
Secondly, you now have some egos, personalities. Clearly, the dad's involved. There's a lot of other things where, you've done everything you can to help him. But if Ben Johnson doesn't become the second coming of Sean McVay or whatever, then I don't know what Caleb's going to do. And I think these quotes show you he's willing to explore every avenue, back channel. And even if that came and went with the draft, he's keeping avenues open to try to still control as much of his future as he can.
Well, I think, unfortunately, he's not going to have any options here. If he can't make this work with Ben Johnson, then what's he going to do? I mean, first of all, I think the NFL, all the good teams have quarterbacks. So, that's the one thing. Like, it's not the NBA where you could just go to another team. If you're a good team, you have a quarterback. So it's not like he can leverage to get it somewhere else.
Sure.
Where's he going to go?
There's only one quarterback. I get that.
Yeah, so if he gets unhappy, is he going to go to the Jets or something or the Giants? Like, you got to go to another losing team. Like, this is the best chance he's going to get. And I know I guess maybe I am a little over my skis with Ben Johnson, but it's kind of like Cliff Kingsbury in Washington. Like, Cliff Kingsbury was not a great head coach.
Right.
Dude can obviously call plays.
Right.
Ben Johnson can obviously call plays.
Yeah, but Cliff Kingsbury, is a bad example because he was a bad head coach. He couldn't save Kyler Murray.
But he made Kyler Murray look great. Like, they just didn't win games. Like, I think Caleb Williams would be thrilled to have a Kyler Murray trajectory right now. Kyler Murray won 11 games his second year and was was a Pro Bowler. Like, that's what we're talking about. I think Caleb just wants to be good at this point. We're not even talking about winning a Super Bowl. Like, he wants to have a good year and get a second contract and all that.
But But Cliff Kingsbury couldn't sustain that with Kyler. They won games.
Sustained it long enough for him to get a huge deal.
Well, that was also they were taking advantage of an ownership group that's dumb. And also, Cliff Kingsbury got a contract extension and then got fired.
Well, he definitely built Kyler Murray into a pretty decent quarterback.
But they didn't turn anything around. There's no, you can't say that it's success. All right, say he got a second contract, that's fine. But nobody's looking at Arizona and saying, wow, what a model franchise. We really saved the day here.
No, but I think we're going to judge Caleb in the short term. I think if Cliff Kingsbury can do for Caleb Williams what he did for Kyler Murray, which is make him look like a really good quarterback to start out, that's what we're talking about here. I think Caleb and his family at least wants to get to that level because the team was so mediocre last year.
Sure.
Caleb Williams was 11-5 in his first and second year. They'll take that. Come on, that'd be a success. No, are we talking Super Bowl or bust at this point? We just want good play.
Yeah, I think that the expectations are really high, and I'm just now worried about where Caleb Williams' head is at, because if you entered into this marriage with the amount of trepidation that you had, whether that was right or wrong, I don't think it just goes away. And the moment that any bump in the road happens, which, by the way, you're in a tough division, you are the Bears, there could be some unforeseen obstacles that come up. That happens to every team. But it's specifically one that doesn't exactly have the winning DNA that I think they have.
Well, but they did put
Mike Ditka's not walking through that door.
They put a lot of resources into offense. So I think that their offense could be good. I'm a little worried about the defense in that division. I think if Caleb Williams has 30 touchdowns and 10 picks and the team is a sieve on defense and they go 9-8,
right?
I think the Caleb Williams family is thrilled. I don't think that they're like, oh, we have to be this Super Bowl team right now. They just want a level of competence that was not there with Matt Eberflus.
So you're saying that he would rather have Pro Bowls than playoff appearances?
At least to start. Let's start with baby steps,
That's
Maggie.
not great.
By the way, Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray in his second year had 3,971 yards. That would be the all-time leading passer for the Chicago Bears.
I get that, bro. They play inside, and all those people got fired.
We need a Bears quarterback to pass 4K, Maggie. We need something here, and I think the Bears have given. By the way, I think Caleb Williams is going to be fine this year. I don't think there's any reason to worry. He's got so much receiving talent around him. Ben Johnson's a great play caller when it comes to the run game.
Tough division, though. You like the Vikings?
Tough division.
Packers and Lions aren't going away.
I think the Lions' defense is vulnerable. I just think Caleb's going to look good. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be right there. They're going to be around 500 in the second year, and you're going to see enough where you can build around Caleb Williams.
Let's hear from Ben Johnson. He was on The Herd with Colin Cowherd. He thinks that Caleb will be breaking Bears records.
The way I see this is what a great opportunity we have to do something that really has never been done. There hasn't been a 4,000-yard passer here in this franchise, and I think Caleb's going to be the first one, and one of many years, many seasons to come where he's able to accomplish that feat. So I see a chance for greatness here for him. He's been communicated that way, and he feels the same way. I don't know what's gone on prior to him joining the organization, but he is very proud to be a Chicago Bear.
Right. Can I just add the caveat there? For now. And I just don't understand how you can sit here and hear these quotes that came out of Caleb's mouth and his dad's mouth and think this is going to be good forever. Like now I hate to use this word, but he's the one who said I wasn't ready to nuke the city. Ticking time bomb is what I see. And if I were a Bears fan, that's what I see.
I would worry. I think the narrative is are the Bears going to want him in 4 years? Not is he going to want the Bears? I mean, if he's good, he's definitely signing a second contract. The question is he going to be good enough to get to that second contract? And I think he will be, but I don't think that's a guarantee by any means. Yeah, I mean, because again, there's never been a situation where a quarterback has sort of blown up a team in year 2 or year 3. I mean, Matthew Stafford got his way out of Detroit after 14 years of losing.
But they gave him $300 million along the way.
Yeah, year 2, because Caleb hasn't proven anything in the NFL, so I don't think he's gained that leverage yet. And if he does play well enough to gain that leverage, then he's going to be like, great, let's stay in Chicago. So I think this is all going to work out. I don't think this potential nuclear option is down the road.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. And this is going a little bit away from just Caleb Williams. Can I just zoom out for a second? it is a very different college football player now at the elite level. Now, they're still as tough, they're still as talented, they're still as dialed in. It's not that. It's just you are going from a system that was the most oppressive, right? The most held down of any of the sports to now the freest of anyone. And I think, I'm not saying that you wouldn't intuitively realize, hey, the NFL is different. I'm in a union now. There's contracts. There's things that have been agreed upon long before I got here. But I do think you'll see guys who have said, listen, I've been able to call the shots in my own career for a while now. I did watch John Elway, Eli Manning. I do have these sort of, it's not like it's never happened. And I can explore these options. Like, I think and this is not about Caleb. These are just the quotes. I'm wondering if you're going to see a little bit more of that. Now, it's got to be reserved for the very, very elite.
I mean, you can't be talking about Arch, though, because obviously Arch did. His uncle did. Like, that's nothing new.
Right. So if Arch does it.
But I don't think any of these other quarterbacks are going to do it because the NFL doesn't play like that. Do you think Drew Aller has any leverage on the NFL? You think Cade Klubnik has any leverage? Garrett Nussmeier's 35 years old. No, I'm kidding. He's 24. He has no leverage.
No, it's not for everyone.
I'm just saying,
it's not for everyone.
But
it's only
very
for
rare.
select. It's not for everyone in the NBA. And the NBA finds ways where the guys,
it's very
player
rare.
Empowerment is what they call it.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at the state of college football. I mean, even the Arch Manning, it doesn't count because he's a Manning. But will DJ Lagway, who's a potential number one, will he do that? I doubt it.
Arch definitely counts, by the way, because we haven't seen it in 25 years.
But you said there's something different about college football now.
No, I think
because Arch is clearly
he's grandfathered in.
He's a throwback
to Nuka City.
Yeah, of course. He grew up rich. He's got Manning as his last name. He doesn't care where. Yes, you can't say that he's emblematic of the current NIL quarterback because obviously he has Uncle Eli in his ear and a grandfather who's done this.
Yeah, I guess like the only thing you said, Arch did grow up in a wealthy family, obviously, but now these guys are getting so much money in college. They're not wealthy like the Mannings, but they have some coin in their pocket.
The real litmus test, I think. And by the way, Cam Ward didn't play any hardball, and he was the clear number one. I wonder if like the generational guys, Dylan Raiola and DJ Lagway, are they gonna? That's where your test comes because they'll have plenty of leverage. Likely, we'll see how their career goes. But a guy like Drew Aller, I mean, I think he's going to want to be drafted as high as possible, and he'll say whatever it takes.
It's not for everyone. 888-710-4ISN. But Caleb Williams was that kind of guy who was Heisman Trophy, generational.
Yeah, that's why we talked about it. That's why we're wondering, is he going to do it? And even he didn't do it.
Okay. I love you guys, but sometimes I also hate you guys because now that you brought up the whole turning people into a baby thing on the internet, Andrew Kaplan has done his darndest. How am I not a cute baby in this thing? Every baby is cute. I don't think so.
Oh, boy.
I think everyone else got a real cute baby meme, and I got not a cute baby. It's funny that the baby's got the hands on the hips like I do in the photo. Everyone became a cute baby except for me.
I think you got to take that up with Kaplan.
Cap, make me a cuter baby.
888-710. Is that the only one that you saw? Or a couple of more?
I did a couple more
come
in.
Go ahead and check your phone. Go ahead and check your phone, Maggie.
The Manny one is spectacular.
Oh, the mustache. All right, let's tweet a couple of these out at Maggie and Pearl. And I'm a cute baby in here, but Perloff got the way cuter treatment. Bogusch and Manny are obviously putting me to shame.
I look spectacular.
You look like one of those babies that also looks like an old man.
Yeah, well, I've already also posted on my Instagram story and big old LGK on my baby forehead.
All right, we'll put those out at Maggie and Pearl. You guys know I'm sensitive about this stuff. 888-710-4ISN.
I wonder if this baby has giant feet.
Of course it does. It's me. You guys know that someone made a cartoon out of me that's going to be in a book. Remember, and I showed you?
Yes.
I looked a lot like this.
Exactly.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I'm like short and I'm kind of stocky.
Yeah, you're a baby, dude.
No, but in that cartoon, I'm an adult. So I think I'm feeling a little insecure because that cartoon is coming out in a book that I participated in, and now I'm, a chubby baby.
This is not the best side of you, Maggie. You're unnecessarily insecure about this.
She's insecure about an AI-generated baby picture.
Yeah. And a silly little stencil cartoon that's super cute in a book.
Makes me look like a
You're like, I think my
hobbit.
cheeks were thinner when I was 4. What are you talking about?
Just don't want to be misrepresented, even in baby form.
Representation matters.
888-710-4ISN. Blame the patriarchy. 888-710-4476. Lots more to do, including somebody speaking out against the NFL schedule. Looks like somebody doesn't want to go to Brazil. Get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining.
Go Knicks! Let's go, baby! Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, baby! Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, baby! Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, baby! Yeah!
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, baby! Yeah! Oh! Yeah!
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. We are looking at our phones because Andrew Kaplan, our AI guru, social media expert, has made baby photos of us all. I look super cute. Maggie, you're not pleased.
No.
I don't get it. You look adorable. I just want to squeeze those big cheeks of yours.
Exactly.
What are you?
No woman wants to hear that, even as a baby.
Diet?
It's just bothering me.
Lay
that
off the Gerber, Gray.
Perloff is a cuter AI baby than I am, and it's really bothering me.
I think you could not possibly be cuter. Look at this. Look at this face.
But again, it doesn't look like me.
That's exactly what I look like as a baby.
It's not too different than right now.
Yeah.
Did you have those white shoes?
Yeah.
That was a big thing back in the day.
Bogusch,
yours.
look-
Manny's got a mustache as a baby. How cute is that?
Bogusch, did you look like
Be a
this
weird
as a baby?
hormonal deficiency, but
My hair was lighter as a kid, but otherwise, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, you're pretty handsome as a kid.
Manny's is perfect. I was waiting for Manny, and it did not disappoint. It's
It is.
just I'd kidnap that baby.
well done, Cap.
Yeah,
okay.
actually.
Excuse me? We're just going to gloss over that one?
I'd kidnap that baby and take it to a country with no extradition.
You know what's not
wow,
working?
That's planned out.
No, it's not working for you as a baby. It's your outfit.
Yeah.
You're dressed as an adult, and it's just not flattering.
You're in a suit, and somehow it works.
Yeah, but you can put a little boy in a blazer. You wouldn't put a young girl in a Gucci belt like that.
It's like baby Perloff would wear a light blue blazer.
Yeah.
But
Slacks and the blouse.
It's the belt, right? This Gucci
It's
belt.
the belt.
Yeah.
Definitely the belt.
You know, if you have a baby at home and you're listening, do not put him or her in a Gucci belt.
It's the hands on the hips. Also, I don't know. Anyway, boo.
I loved how mad
I'm
you
the
were about
ugliest
that.
baby on the show.
That thing in the book was classic too. Like everybody is like, there's 50 like celebrities and well in this book, and they're all just these cute little round drawings, and you were like, this is not an accurate portrayal of Maggie Gray.
No. Someone drew me in cartoon form in a book that's coming out that I was interviewed for.
Yeah.
And it's unflattering. But I said to you guys before I showed you, I was like, this picture's unflattering. It's not good. And you're like, no. Without seeing it, everyone's like, no, you're making too much of this. And then I showed you it, and you were all like, ooh.
Yeah.
Make a phone call.
No.
Bogusch followed up. He's like, you sent that email yet? I was like,
I think I sent you a template of an email to send this person.
Bogusch's like, I will stand in front of a speeding train so that this book doesn't get published with you looking like a hobbit in it. You're a good friend.
It was a dark 72 hours for me because I spent way too much time trying to craft this email because it's a very difficult situation.
Are you taking a photo?
No,
he's looking
side by side.
I can't unsee.
What kind of belt you got on today?
By the way, it's the funniest, like your whole facial expression. Oh, this is great.
Anywho, you can look at Maggie Gray. It's me and Perloff next to each other, and he's the much cuter AI baby, and it's just like, I can't live with that. Bogusch, you got a headline for us.
Sure. It was great news for the Timberwolves. The Thunder could not close out the Nuggets last night in Denver, so their second-round series is going the distance, which means Minnesota is getting 5 full days off between series. OKC did have a 10-point lead late in the third last night, but lost 119-107. The good news for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and friends, Game 7 Sunday is in their building.
It's do or die. It's what you live for. It's what you worked your whole life for. It's either your dream continues or your dream ends. So you lay it all out there on the floor and live with the results. But I'm excited for the opportunity for sure.
SGA with 32 points.
Thanks, SGA. I didn't know that.
6 assists, but Jalen Williams continues to struggle. Just 6 points, 3 of 16 shooting.
I think I got to spots I wanted to get to and it didn't go in. It's just how basketball works. But nah, not really. I think I had a good process of what I was doing. I just hurt us tonight not making shots.
Jokic, Murray, and Brown made shots for Denver. 29 points for Nikola, 25 for Jamal, and a postseason career-high 23 for Christian. But the Nuggets are worried about the hamstring issue that Aaron Gordon dealt with late in this game. Now, tonight, tip-off at the Garden, I believe, is shortly after 7 Eastern.
No, sir, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, that's right. Second chance for the
They
Knicks.
want Manny really drunk.
Yeah. Second chance for the Knicks to close out the shorthanded Celtics, and first chance for our Manny to find love somewhere on 31st Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. So fingers crossed.
Honestly, I think you better focus on not getting trampled. Those scenes are insane. And if they win this, I'm getting nowhere near New York City.
Oh, you just gave me another idea. I've created in my mind's eye a love story where Manny locks eyes with a female, cute Knicks fan at the watch party, and they find love as the Knicks go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a quarter century. Now you just gave me another idea. Crowd gets unruly.
Yeah, and he saves
Everything's getting chaotic. Girl falls, trips.
Yep.
As everyone's trying to leave the Garden Plaza, there comes Manny
Here
doing
comes-
all those back pull downs with your gorilla back.
No, you know what Manny's doing? Hurdling that chick like Saquon Barkley in the open field.
All right, I was actually thinking it's a chick saving Manny because Manny's too hammered to get out of there. Help that drunk guy. And it'd be more like a Florence Nightingale nurse situation, right, Bogusch? Where like this woman has to save Manny.
Manny
said earlier like Saquon Barkley. Just backwards.
Do that 360 one that he's trying to pull off. I'll be able to pull that off because he's a bum. And I'll be hopped up off a Knicks win, love, and some Jack Daniels. You kidding me? Let's go Knicks.
Well, let's advance that story. Let's say you do hurdle the first girl. Maybe another girl, just as heartless as you, sees that and goes, that was cool. Then that's the girl you fall in love with.
What it do, baby girl?
I will leave you in a crowd.
Want to see my Jalen Brunson celebration?
Well, all right. But yes, maybe a Florence Nightingale situation also. I don't know. There's a lot of ways this could go.
I don't think Manny's physically capable of saving a woman in this crowd.
Absolutely
I'm sorry.
not.
I'm not taking it. Don't take that personally. These crowds are scary.
No, again, I am hurdling her. Jumping right over her like it's a 110-meter sprint.
Oh, man. I'm just saying, bottom line, you should go to the watch party. You never know what will happen.
Can I actually say one thing about this whole thing? Like, how come the Knicks don't act like they've been there before in the sense that... But they've been there in 1998 when
And
Larry
Manny wasn't
Johnson.
alive yet.
Yeah, I was, again, 2 years. I was not providing anything good to society except for defecating all over myself and drooling all over
No,
myself.
we had baby Manny, and now we have a picture of it.
With
the
a
Kaplan
mustache and a
made
Jalen Brunson jersey.
But
on AI.
why is this fan base celebrating like a championship after every round, like burning cars almost?
Because we're hungry, we're starving.
You asked last night, when have people been this excited about the Knicks?
Yeah.
And I said Linsanity.
But other cities have,
so
like
sad.
Oklahoma City has never been, they've
they've
been in
been
the
in
finals. They've been in
had-
the finals once, but it's a big deal for OKC, and I don't see riots on the streets of Oklahoma City for Game 7.
Although, did you see people showed up to the airport last night
Yeah.
in OKC to just cheer the team on, even after they lost Game 6?
Oh, there you go. Okay, so maybe I'm missing it.
That's
But
a good fan base.
It does feel like the New York is more excited than every other fan base to me. But
It's probably just more social media posts.
no, I mean, no, that crowd is real. That's a lot of people coming to the away arena.
Yeah, but I saw in Milwaukee,
Yeah,
remember the Deer
what's that
Park,
called?
the
The Deer Park.
Jurassic Park in Toronto.
Yeah.
You get up for it when your team's like this close.
Right, that's a little more organized. This feels more chaotic. Like that's why.
There's people like Manny out there hurdling strangers who need help.
Well, Manny's smart enough. It sounds like you're not going, right?
I don't know. Now I'm tempted.
There could be the next Mrs. Rodriguez. I'm not even saying you should be married. I'm just saying couple up for the summer.
Again, Larry O'Brien will keep me warm during the summer.
Why not both? It doesn't have to be a
She's
one.
a fan
Because
too.
Larry
Right.
O'Brien would be cheaper, all right?
Can I
You want the
make a
real
suggestion?
answer? It would be cheaper this summer.
Also, maybe you don't want to date a Knicks fan. Like maybe diversify because
No.
What, a Nets fan?
Well, I'm just saying
It's never going to work.
4 of them.
I think you have enough Knicks fandom in this couple with Manny alone.
You need someone who understands.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking like if they lose, then you'll have 2 very depressed people,
No, 'cause-
and maybe one person to carry the other person out of the depression.
Well, that could help. But here's the thing. If Manny and this girl couple up for the summer, but say she had no idea he's a Knicks fan, that hits her like a ton of bricks in October out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he becomes a psychopath. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to work.
Well, let me
All of a
ask you. You're
sudden.
married to a Bills fan,
Yeah,
right?
and when they lose, it stinks for both of us.
Yeah, see, I would think it'd be better to have sort of a mixed marriage where one's a Bills fan and one's a Chiefs fan. That
Yeah, I'm
brings
sure that
some
would work
levity.
out
That would work great. Yeah,
But
spectacular idea.
Is your husband, who's the crazier Bills fan out of the two of you?
I'll give you a guess.
Okay, I was trying to be nice.
I'm guessing
Actually,
one
I
person.
one with the
don't
big
know.
feet.
I gotta tell you, we showed up at a kickball
My
game.
husband, you know how sometimes like your wife will never put your shoes on to like go get the newspaper or something? Like I put my husband's on. I'm just like, oh, that fits a little too close.
I gotta tell you though, we showed up at the celebrity kickball tournament.
Oh, the one where EJ
Yeah.
busted his knee in 37 pieces.
We were getting ready for the game, and all of a sudden, Maggie's husband ties a bandana around his head and screams, "Let's go, Braveheart style." So he is not unintense, Maggie.
Yeah. My husband was a really good kickball player that day.
Yeah, he was.
He's athletic.
He carried the team. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know. He's really good, but he doesn't flaunt it, but he's a good athlete.
He is one of the most. He is competitive. It's crazy. He was the most competitive person on that field by far.
I know. He's got a lot of great gifts.
Oh.
And he's like Karate Kid out there. It's kind of hot. Sorry, back to you, Bo.
Wow.
Is that why EJ was trying to steal third to impress the ladies?
Andrea wasn't there. We actually could have used her because someone had to give him a ride home.
I know. And
It ended up being Carlos. So that's
as I told everybody,
guy,
like,
KO.
the analytics said stay at second. You don't even need that third base. And he's just like all about the stats. EJ Stewart cost him.
Always has been.
The Winnipeg Jets live for another day, blanking the Stars last night 4-0, so they're heading for a Game 6 in Dallas tomorrow, but the Capitals are done. They lose Game 5 at home to the Hurricanes 3-1. Florida can join Carolina now in the Eastern Conference Final by beating the Leafs this evening. Just 2 baseball games last night. The Dodgers smoked the A's 19-2. Shohei homering twice, drove in 6. And the Rangers blanked the Astros 1-0. Jacob deGrom 8 shutout from manager Bruce Bochy.
He's one of the best ever, and now he's healthy. You're seeing it, and he's done this for a while. And you see what this man's doing right now. He's right back on track.
DeGrom is coming back from elbow surgery. His ERA is now 2.29.
That sounds pretty good.
Round 2 of the PGA Championship is underway. Tyrell Hatton is 2 under through 3 holes this morning, so he joins Ryan Gerard at 5 under par, 2 shots off the lead of Jonathan Vegas, who tees off at 9 Eastern today. Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler, part of the afternoon wave. Rory was 3 over yesterday. Scheffler in his group recovering to shoot 2 under. And Patriots D-tackle Christian Barmore has clearance now to return to all football activities. He expects to be completely ready for Week 1. Barmore played just 4 games last season after a recurrence of blood clots. Guys, back to you.
Bogusch, thank you. Okay, back to Kaplan turning us all into AI babies. So, first of all,
No more, by the way.
it's it. He said he's out of free credits. So, my AI baby that's way less cute than everyone else's on the show just has to remain. And then Chocolate Thunder's in the chat, youtube.com/infinitysportsnet, saying babies aren't cute is wild, LOL. It's not a real baby, by the way. It's a computer.
So why are you so
It's
up in arms about this?
generated.
Right.
I just don't want people to think that we took a photo of someone's kid and called it ugly. We didn't do that. It's an AI generated baby of me.
He's right though. You are super cute. I mean, the thought did cross my mind is baby Maggie better have a great personality if she ever wants to get a man.
With those giant feet.
Yeah.
Those giant baby feet.
Yeah. And maybe it's the way she's dressed, like a mid-level executive.
No, I was going to say, what midday talk show did you host at 2?
Yeah. Like I don't know.
The Ricky Lake Show, followed by the Maggie Gray Show, followed by Sally Jesse Raphael.
I wish I could have cashed in on that golden era. So this is, and also, sometimes babies need a little bit to kind of cuten up.
What you trying to say?
Wait, what?
When babies are first born,
They look like aliens,
they
right?
look like aliens,
They look
old
awful.
men.
They're mushed. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Terrifying. Those kids
But
look
this
terrifying.
age,
You can't say that?
pretty much everybody at this age, about 14 months, is super cute.
Almost everybody.
I mean,
You've seen
sometimes they're
ugly
just
babies?
late bloomers,
I don't know. Yeah, I think most kids at
There are
this
some
age
awkward looking baby photos, and then the person, you laugh about it because then the person gets a lot hotter.
Go ahead, Maggie. Name some awkward looking babies.
My cousin Josh was.
Oh, wow.
Really? And now your cousin's hot? You want to stop this sentence?
No, he's just he grew into being a really, nice looking guy, but his baby photos were a little bit weird.
Morning, Josh.
Love you, man. Thank you. Last for the birthday text yesterday.
Name some name. Josh.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
I had it ready to go.
Didn't even let me
I was
finish the
on from
sentence.
experience.
I'm just picturing Josh as like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. What was going on with this guy?
I might have the picture saved.
There are there's every puppy's pretty cute. I mean, like generally, that's why this AI craze is actually going over so well. People need cute babies talking like adults now. What America is craving.
Going to unite America.
Honestly, Manny, if your Knicks lose tonight, just go straight to the internet and watch a bunch of baby comedians.
I might have to do that. I'll be despondent if they lose,
dude,
and not in love.
Well, here's the thing, though. You still have a Game 7.
Why would we let that?
Yeah.
Wait.
If it makes you feel any better, we have TVs on in here, and everyone is picking the Knicks to win. That's always a good sign.
Oh, no, that's...
Everyone in the media is on it.
I mean...
You're a little too excited over there, Andrew Bogusch.
Celtics do have a lot of talent left after Jason Tatum.
Manny, don't let them get in your head.
I don't understand English, so I don't know what they're saying.
But by the way, the longer the series goes, the longer the possibility of Jalen Brunson turning an ankle as well.
Why are you the way that you are?
Blame baby Maggie. Don't look at me.
Even baby Perloff was like this. Okay, Bogusch, thank you. Lots to do, including some famous football player, maybe the most famous football player, doesn't want to go to Brazil. Tell you about it next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie Perloff Show. Okay, so we know that the season for the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers, what year is it, Max? They are going to start the season in Brazil, much like Perloff's Eagles and the Packers did last year. Here's Travis Kelce. Connor, can I hear Cut 14 confirms on his podcast that KC is indeed headed to Brazil.
Oh, the NFL is closing in on an agreement. So it is just that. It's a rumor.
Well, it says the Chargers will host the Chiefs in Sao Paulo in Brazil week 1.
This doesn't come out till Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely playing in Brazil.
Yeah.
I also heard those rumors.
So Kelce, clearly good timing there. Kelce doesn't want to go to Brazil. Why? Well, he's got some specific reasons.
There's just something about getting closer to the equator that I don't want to put on football uniform doing that.
Especially in September?
I've been in Jacksonville in September, and that's miserable.
Okay. More from the Kelce brothers. Not sure they've got a future in meteorology up their sleeves. They discuss Sao Paulo, Brazil's climate and the geography, but they're not looking at a map.
Is Sao Paulo, is that like by the water? Is it going to be?
Sao Paulo? I don't believe. I think it's
inland?
I believe so.
That feels better. I like that in my mind.
You like that more?
I'd rather it be dry than humid. I'm a sweaty. I like when I'm in
there's
humid.
definitely water around Sao Paulo, but I think it's rivers or something like that, right?
This is amazing. More from the Kelce brothers about the geography and topography of Sao Paulo.
Yeah, there's rivers.
Yeah, there are rivers. Google map it.
There's a source of water.
I will say this: if it's humid, I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to
prepare to be miserable. You're surrounded by the Amazon rainforest.
This is a good point. Yeah,
there's a lot of
about that whole thing they got down there. If it's hot and humid and kind of what I'm expecting, I'm going to be miserable. But we're going to find a way to get a win.
Okay, so. All right, inspiring.
I like the NFL. We're going to find a way to win.
Okay, so Sao Paulo is actually near the water. Not right on like Rio, but right near the water from where I can tell. I've never been there. But isn't this common knowledge that South America, compared to North America, the seasons are flipped?
Yeah, but if you're near the equator, then there aren't a lot of seasonal variety, right? I guess it is common knowledge, but I think, and based on the 2 or 3 movies, isn't Rio hot all year round?
Well, this is Sao Paulo.
Right, but generally, why would he know the difference between that? Like, there are certain parts near the equator that are hot year round.
Yeah, but it's not in the rainforest. So here's the thing. We looked up the weather, and they say this is the time of year to be traveling to Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
September. This The NFL is not putting them there to swelter in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Like, that's not what's happening. That's not what happened last year with the Eagles. It's, but doesn't everyone know that the seasons are flipped? You could have shoulder seasons, but everyone knows that in South America, their winters are summer and our summer's their winter, right?
Right, but I would counter it. If you're near enough to the equator, it doesn't make the slightest difference what season you are, right? Like, for example, I'm looking at Rio. There's not much fluctuation between July, the height of winter, and December. Like, it's beach season all year long.
Okay, well, but if they're saying September's like a good time to go, then...
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's drier, but how the rainy season in different countries? Why would you know that?
I guess I'm just not assuming that the NFL is going to put me
Oh, no, see, that's where
in the middle of the Amazon rainforest to play a football game.
According to the always trusty Wikipedia, the mean daily maximum in Sao Paulo in September is 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and the average precipitation in inches is about 3.3 inches.
Per month?
For the month of September.
Is that high or low? I have no idea.
I mean, give us Jacksonville. Jacksonville's probably 90 in
low.
September.
That's kind of low for Sao Paulo, given the scale that I see.
Yeah, but I disagree with one thing. The NFL doesn't care. They'll make you play in the middle of Death Valley if they think that the ticket sales are right. You think the NFL is monitoring this? And like they said, first of all, forget the weather. The problem is the stadium is not, it's a soccer stadium, and there's been problems converting the pitch. Hear that, man?
Thank you very much.
Into a football field.
And that was something that
those
they
guys
mentioned on the New Heights podcast, too.
Yeah, they're freaked out about their knees. They don't care.
Well, I thought they want to play on grass. Doesn't all the football players actually want to play on real grass?
But the way those stadiums are built, they're worried that traditionally they don't always hold up to football. Like the football chews up the grass a lot more than soccer. I'm not an expert on this. But you think the NFL is actually sitting there and like, well, it's September in Sao Paulo, we're going to send them there. Come on, they don't care. They would send them anyway. They send them to the moon if they thought Amazon would pay enough for it.
That's probably right. 888-710-4ISN. Is there a way that Travis Kelce, if he really wanted to, now you're starting with the Chargers, that's a division game, so you don't want to mess around, but couldn't he just say, like, I don't want to go? If he's really that worried, I don't know if he is. He's doing this for the pod, but is there any way that Travis Kelce's, 35? Probably in his last season.
Yeah, he does not want to tear anything in that game.
Couldn't he just tell the Chiefs, like, I don't want to play in this game?
I don't know. It doesn't feel very NFL-y.
Yeah, but who's questioning Travis Kelce's toughness? Who's questioning his commitment or mettle or any of that? Nobody.
Yeah,
He's been an amazing teammate.
I just don't I know what you're saying, but the league doesn't work that way. You can't do that. You can't. If he said, I'm not going there because I'm worried I'm going to tear up my knee, the team would not look at him the same way. There's a tough guy mentality.
I don't know. He's got a lot of skin in the game. He's been pretty tough.
I'll bet you, I bet you millions of dollars that Travis Kelce would not opt out. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's just another guy in that locker room. I know he's dating Taylor Swift. Like, he can't all of a sudden start acting like a diva. That's like his magic power that he still plays hard. Although he did put on all this weight in the offseason and lost it, apparently. I follow enough of Travis Kelce photos.
Perloff's tracking him like TMZ.
Yeah. Have you not followed the Travis Kelce weight situation?
No.
He showed up at somewhere in the offseason. He showed up. He looked like he put on a lot of weight. So then he took off a lot of weight and was talking about it.
Oh, boy.
Then he changed his haircut, too. Trust me, this is not a normal player. You're right. But he's one of the guys. That's his... He's like, I'm dating Taylor Swift, but I'm going to go out there and block my butt off. Like, that's inspiring to the team.
So, Perloff, you were telling me you didn't think it was common knowledge that people knew, whether you're next to the equator or not, that South America has different seasons than North America.
Well, I think, actually, I am challenging you on that, too. Like, all of South America is definitely, like, the opposite. So, isn't part of South America really far close to the equator?
Yeah, but
so they don't have seasons at all.
Maybe not, but so there are places that don't fluctuate a lot in this country either. Okay, but if you're talking about full continents, right? The North America and South America, the seasons are flipped.
And I know that with Australia. That's famous. But I don't really think about it as much with South America. No, I don't. I mean, you act like Travis Kelce sounded like an idiot there. Like, I didn't think so at all. I have no idea what the climate in Sao Paulo is.
No, I don't think you sound like an idiot. I just think that it's obvious to me that they were not going to be going into the sweltering rainforest.
How would you have known that? You really knew Sao Paulo was not hot in September?
No, but it wasn't a story last year with the Packers and the Eagles. So why would it all of a sudden nothing's changing?
I don't remember what the time. I don't know. I just missed it last year. I thought that was a very reasonable concern. If you say you're going to Brazil in September, isn't your first thought, oh, gee, I wonder what the weather's like? You don't know. You have no idea. What's the temperature like today in Rio de Janeiro?
It's what month is it?
It's May.
It's probably. I have no idea.
Yeah, of course you have no idea. You've never been there.
Well, Travis
Kelce's from Cleveland. He doesn't know what the heck is going on in Sao
Paulo. It's going to be 75 degrees today in Rio.
If I was traveling there for work, I would have looked it up.
He just found out.
He knew. He knew.
You would have already had your outfits planned? What are you talking about?
I just don't think 87 uniform?
No, I just don't think it's common knowledge. That's the first thing. When you're traveling overseas, Madrid. I have no idea for this. What is it? Dolphins and Chiefs? Dolphins and Chargers?
Dolphins Commanders.
Dolphins Commanders. I don't have the slightest idea what the weather's going to be like in Madrid in October. Do you?
Fall. They're in the same northern hemisphere
Isn't
that
Spain
we are.
Hot though?
But you're going to get more of a fall-like temperature in Madrid in October.
I think Madrid's way hotter than you think.
We should probably just stick to sports, shall we? Coming up, Aaron Rodgers. What's the latest?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
I might ask you for the WTF Rodgers music. I might not though, but just
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Caleb Williams almost blew up going to the Chicago Bears, we find out in a new book. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray. Andrew Perloff. Didn't happen, obviously. Caleb just finished his season with the Bears. But turns out, according to a new book written by Seth Wickersham, Pearl, he came explored all opportunities. Whether it was talking to labor lawyers, talking to Archie Manning, maybe exploring going to the UFL.
Yep.
They really wanted to back channel him not going to Chicago because, as Caleb's father says on the record, Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die.
Yeah, no surprise. He's absolutely accurate. Again, I kind of wish he'd went through this. I've been dying for someone to challenge the draft. The last time it happened was Maurice Claret in 2014, I believe. The draft is completely illegal. There's nothing... you're telling, can you imagine any other profession where you told a person you have to go work in this city and go work for these bosses? You're coming out of college, you don't have a choice. Like investment banking or any other high level industry does not work like that. Drafts are totally silly, but it's monopolistic behavior, but they let him get away with it.
Well, the weird thing is so it's funny because when it comes to football, you actually could go play for another league. Like no one is telling you have to go play for the Bears, but
the
I
leagues
get
are
what
not
you're saying.
the leagues aren't good though. There's only
they're
one
not
good
paying
league.
nearly as much. I totally understand that. But anyway, so Caleb Williams, it did seem like it was a legitimate concern. He wanted to go to the Vikings, said that was never going to happen. And Ryan Poles, the GM, told his family that was not going to happen. But this all did go down behind the scenes until a pre-draft visit to Chicago that Caleb took, where he said, all right, I'm meeting people. I think I can make this work. And then told Seth Wickersham, this is Caleb, I wasn't ready to nuke the city. And to me, that means you weren't ready yet.
Well, why? But I don't
only
understand.
a matter of time before something else, can either further confirms your suspicions that Chicago is a place quarterbacks go to die. And if you do want out before your contract is up or something like that, do we ever get to a point where he's trying to pull something like that NBA stars pull, which is trying to get to a different city?
But how does this play out? Like, what kind of season would he have to have? To do that, wouldn't he have to have a good season? Like, he can't be bad and then say, I'm playing a power play.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that a season can go wrong, right? Injuries, it can go wrong. Coaching incompetence, it can go wrong.
Right.
Scandals in the front office, it can go wrong. There's a bevy of ways that things turn sour for a franchise. And what I'm just saying about Caleb and these quotes coming out is maybe they all move forward together and this is never spoken of ever again. Or maybe you're getting a window into, I didn't want to enter into this marriage to begin with.
Right.
I talked myself into it. And
Definitely.
at the first sign of trouble, I'm going to try to do whatever I can to nuke the city or go rogue or get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think he's a quarterback and he's a young player. I think he's just more worried about, I want to play well. I want to look good. Not in a selfish way. Like, I think he's just more worried about looking like a really good quarterback. And if he can do that, then why would he leave Chicago? But if he plays badly, I think then he's in the bust category, and I don't think people are going to be knocking down the doors to get him. If he's bad with that team this year, I don't think it's going to. Yeah, he'll definitely get a second shot, but it's not going to be like, you know how NBA teams are going after Giannis right now?
Right.
Like, people are not going to be lining up packages if he plays terribly this year. It's just not how the NFL works.
It's not how it works yet. You know, I think Caleb is obviously, the fact that even his family is going on the record in this book to say how deeply they went down the road here on exploring other options besides the Bears, I think shows you they're not messing around, and they're not afraid to step out of the lane that most 99.999% of people go down, which is just getting drafted and going there and trying to make the best of it, and whatever happens, happens. I think they're showing you here, like, we will take a nuclear option.
Right. Because, you know, there's one thing the NFL teams love is active dads. That's really going to help his
Deion Sanders, baby.
Yeah. If teams had known this in advance, they would have let him go to the 5th round probably, like Deion. No, Shedeur, sorry. Yeah, no, I just don't think he's there. This is all past tense. Everything in that book happened. Too late now, dude. You're in Chicago. You decide not to go nuclear. Now you have to live with the consequences. Although I do think whoever got to the Bears got to them well, because they're setting them up for success. But I do have a fear.
What's that?
I mean, Ryan Poles kept Matt Eberflus.
Or ownership did.
I think.
How's the power dynamic in that building?
I think. Well, it's Kevin Warren is the
president.
But generally, no. Ryan Poles made some big mistakes. So I think we're giving him a lot of faith that he won't make future mistakes. I worry about it, like whatever. Ryan Poles is the one who brought in Shane Waldron for him. So it's the same GM. So I worry that this might now, it looks on paper like it's working out. They got an offensive guru, but I do worry about that GM.
I think it's fair. And the Bears have this really bad habit of always staggering their hirings and firings. So they never clean house with the GM and the coach gone at the same time.
Could happen again.
Could happen again, right, where they keep Ben Johnson and bring in another GM, and now who's got the power and who's calling the shots, and this is how bad franchises stay bad or stay mid or whatever you want to call it. But I just think about this like from a personal relationship standpoint. Like, this is not a love story. And it may turn into one, and they may learn to love each other, but it's not starting as a love story. And it clearly didn't start off on a good note, because Caleb Williams also says he never thought it could work with Shane Waldron. They obviously all got fired in the middle of the season. He was watching tape with nobody. Right. He took 68 sacks last year. Like, it's a miracle that it kind of didn't go as horribly as it even could have gone, considering how bad the circumstances.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I wonder who got that narrative out there.
Well, I mean, again, Caleb's going to have a mouthpiece. And he's not hiding, by the way. He's putting his name on all this stuff.
Yes. Well, in the past, he's not saying, he's not coming out in front of a podium and saying all that right now.
Well, he's going to get asked about it.
Yeah, he's going to get asked about it. He's going to talk around it.
Book.
But by the way, unfortunately for him, all his excuses are gone now. Like, what possible excuses does he have next year?
Well, let's see.
I mean,
You think Ben Johnson is going to be the second coming, and I want to see him coach a game first.
Well, I mean, listen, as
a head coach.
He has a lot of money invested in the wide receiver room. He has a lot of resources and money invested in the O-line. He's got 2 really good tight ends. Like, I think it's on him now. I think I think he forced all these moves. I think this is what he was talking about. He's like, I don't want to be with Shane Waldron. Get me somebody good. I mean, by the way, Ben Johnson might as well be Kevin O'Connell. They're the same person. Get me a young offensive guru and let's go. I think this is now fully on him next year. I think, by the way, I think he'll be fine. But if he's not, then it's possible he's a bust. I mean, are we ruling out the fact that he might not be good? I know he was hyped, but I'm not so sure.
I think more people will blame the Bears. 888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. Let's get to Aaron Rodgers.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Well, let's ask Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter on his podcast talking about Aaron Rodgers and his future in Pittsburgh. Let's hear it.
Well, Ty, everybody's waiting to hear from Aaron Rodgers. And I believe the Steelers have a mandatory minicamp June 10th to the 12th. And I would think that if Aaron Rodgers is going to commit to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't know why he wouldn't, that we would get word from him some point in early June before or right at the start of that mandatory minicamp.
Okay, and we got more from Schefter looking at the Steelers' schedule. What did it say to him?
Aaron Rodgers, if he plays, gets a chance to go up against the Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Packers, Bears, and Lions. What are we waiting for? Go get the deal done, get into Steelers camp, and get ready for the June mandatory minicamp and a schedule that is tailor-made for him.
Right, so there's Schefter talking about Rodgers, tailor-made for Rodgers. Starting with the Jets, that's an obvious one because that's the team he last played for, but he knows the NFC North so well that it's tailor-made for him.
Well, no, also he's saying the Jets is a revenge game. Seattle is his famous rivalry with. Then he gets Minnesota, who didn't take him this offseason, grudge match. Then they get another grudge match, Week 8 against Green Bay. They scheduled all these revenge games for when they think Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy.
Well, it also just broke right that the AFC North plays the NFC North this year.
But they could have put those games. Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think they put New York there on purpose?
I think the league is cute like that. We asked Donnie Bose that yesterday, the VP of NFL broadcasting. He said he actually thought that the league showed restraint in how few primetime games they gave the Steelers if they really knew it was a slam dunk that Rodgers was going.
Yeah, I think they.
It was a good answer from Monty, but
I think the fact that they put Minnesota and Green Bay in the first half of the schedule, not an accident. But the other thing that I'm a little worried about, he said he'll be there by the mandatory minicamp. We thought he was going to be there by the first minicamp.
And that came and went.
That came and went. So hard to predict. I'm not so sure I'm going to listen. Schefter actually said that. He's like, he's going to be here by this first minicamp. Not there. Are we worried if he does come? Like, is he going to get to know these receivers? Like, is he pulling an Aaron Rodgers where he's going to have to learn all this on the fly?
Well, I think the season just feels so long now. I know it's only one extra game that we were used to from 16 to 17, but it just feels like the season goes on for an eternity.
Yeah, but it's a new I know what you're saying, but it's a new team. Favre came on August 8th, by the way, the Jets. And
they got off to a great start.
Yeah.
They did.
I mean, it wasn't as electric as I think you and EJ make it out sound. He was fine.
No, they were winning games. I mean, they had a great offensive line. They had a run game. They had a great defense.
I thought it looked wonky with Favre.
Well, he got hurt, and then
I just thought also. No, I just didn't think he looked totally comfortable in that offense. It wasn't his offense. Then he went to Minnesota, and he looked immediately comfortable. Yeah.
Either way, it wasn't a train wreck until we found out later about all the Jen Sturger stuff, and it got wildly embarrassing for them. But as far as the football was concerned, it wasn't embarrassing by any stretch. But anyway.
But it wasn't. I mean, it would be. I mean, they were okay. Like, it wasn't great. That was a failure. I know you guys are looking at it with rose-colored glasses. Like, he did not look like Brett Favre when he was a Jets quarterback. Okay. He looked like a middling quarterback.
Well, forget about history, Pearl. Let's just bring it to
present
day.
They're the same person.
Bring it to present day.
That'd be a mistake because everything that Favre does, Rodgers does.
Okay, so you were expecting AFC Championship game then for Rodgers and Pittsburgh if you think that they were so same?
I think Rodgers could be way better. I wish he'd gone to Minnesota. Then I think he would have been an MVP.
Right.
Yes, I definitely think he's following the Favre. I think he's going to be much improved. I just worry about that team. I think Rodgers is going to look much better. Don't you?
Probably because he's further away from the Achilles
there.
Yeah.
But you know, he is also like Brett Favre in that situation, system dependent. He's got to get in his offense. It's very particular. You talk about the hand signs.
Yeah.
That's why I want him there. I want him there now.
Yeah, I think he can get up to speed here. But the problem is he going to be flexible at all? You know, I don't know what Arthur Smith is planning, but is he going to be flexible at all, or does everything have to be exactly how Aaron wants it to be?
Yeah.
He's already been throwing with DK Metcalf. I mean, I think that's probably it's a good sign.
Yeah, I just worry that offense isn't great to start with. He didn't look Rodgers didn't look super comfortable with the Jets either. Right, didn't look like he was running somebody else's offense. That's how I thought of this. I'm like, every time he calls a play and throws a pass, he looks frustrated.
Well, I would just say, do you think it would be a success if the Steelers won 9 games this year with Rodgers?
No, they have to make the playoffs to be a success.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
don't you kind of think the Steelers are winning 9 games no matter who's playing quarterback?
Probably. So, yes, so I don't think that's a success. I think they have to get to the playoffs for it to be a success. What's your line?
I think they could win 9 games and get to the playoffs. I think they're going to be thereabouts, 9 or 10. I don't see them going 13 and, 3, 4.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure 9-8 gets you into the playoffs in the AFC. Definitely does in the NFC. No, I think they got
the Steelers in. What did the Steelers have last year?
I think they were 10-7.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you got to step it up a little. I mean, we're nitpicking here. They don't make the playoffs, and he plays all season, I think we're going to kill this move.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay. We had some changes made to one iconic franchise. But what was the motivation behind it? Send a message, perhaps? Get to that next. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining.
Glass gleaming. Who brought stripes and bright stars?
You're way off. Forget it.
Perilous fight. I'm off.
You're gone already.
Glass
Get it with Snoop to your double chill on the beat. Paris got a problem. Mickey Cully ain't discreet. Olympics coming fast, but the water's not neat. Gotta clean it up, make the competition sweet. Snoop's in the house and he's laying it down.
Maggie's got some giant feet, they're the talk of the town. When she walks the sidewalk cracks, she's bringing buildings down. She tried to buy some shoes, but they said no way. Now she's wearing boat sails just to get through the day. Maggie's giant feet, they're a real big deal. Stepping on poles, creating legs for real. Maggie's giant feet, they make a mighty thud. But Maggie just laughs, hey, it's all in good fun. She went to a dance, cleared out the floor. Her feet made the music, folks yelled for more. At the beach she's a hit, making giant sand castles. Her footprint's so big, they're like dinosaur battles. She went to a dance, cleared out the floor. Her feet made the music, folks yelled for more. At the beach she's a hit, making giant sand castles. Her footprint's so big, They're like dinosaur battles. Maggie's giant feet, they're a real big deal. Stepping on puddles, creating legs for real. Maggie's giant feet, they make the mighty thud. But Maggie just laughs, hey, it's all in good fun. She went to a dance, cleared out the floor. So here's to Maggie and her feet so grand. She's the funniest girl in all the land. With her giant feet, she's never beat. Maggie's big feet make life so sweet. Oh, Maggie's big feet make life so sweet.
Has a mustache and a Knicks jersey on there. Maggie has this really half-concocted plan to find love tonight at the Knicks game.
Well, for Manny to find
For Manny
love.
to find No, yeah, and Manny has no interest in this. We got to watch out for our guy this weekend. He's feeling it. He's really grinding Maggie.
Who, Jalen Brunson?
Manny's
grinding tape?
grinding. No, he's grind like he is miserable.
Are you miserable right now?
I am miserable 24/7, so I don't know what he's talking about.
But I asked, "Are you excited tonight?" He's like, Basically,
you're nervous.
He almost said I would have slit my wrist. He's so nervous about this game.
Jeez.
Like you are
Don't
so
give him any
why?
ideas.
I think it'll be only relief if they win, no joy. Like, why are you so scared they're going to lose?
I'm not scared. There's no panic or anything. I don't know where this. It's just.
He's out of his mind, Pearl. You're
I am
killing
out
him
of my
right
mind.
now. Here's what he's going
anxiety
through.
Attack now.
I know. Here's what he's. There's not enough Xanax in the world to help Manny right now.
Exactly.
Here's what he's going
or
through.
Zens or alcohol.
Maybe the combination of all three might do the trick, but I don't know. This is what he's going through. He's going through his team up 3-1. The best player on the other team injured.
Right.
And then there was just this big rally by that injured, wounded animal to come back and beat your team. And they showed nothing. Karl Anthony Towns was a 0. OG Anunoby was a 0. Mikal Bridges was a 0. And the thing is, now you're home, and sometimes the home crowd makes you hyped, and sometimes the home crowd makes you tight.
Well, that's all true. But I think there's more going on here. For example, I'm a Sixers fan. If they were up 3-1, I think this happened to them not too long ago, and they lost a series, I'd be upset, but I'd be like, yeah, business as usual. Manny and EJ, our executive producer, have been talking mad trash this last week. And I don't think they want all their trash talk to be completely refuted by a Knicks loss. So I think not only is there pressure to win as a fan, but they've put their neck out there being like, we have Jalen Brunson, we're the best. So I think there's a little extra here, especially for EJ. EJ was walking around like he invented basketball, like he was Dr. James Naismith. He's like, did you see what me and the Knicks did? So I think basically there's different ways to approach the playoffs. You can be cautious and bet against your own team every game, and I think that's the way you and I approach it. We don't want to jinx them, or you can just sort of wear it and be like, "Yes, we're going to win this game."
Manny's having a panic attack. What confidence is he leaking right now?
I actually might bet on the Knicks tonight because Manny's so depressed.
No, I think that Knicks fans expected the Celtics to gentlemen sweep them.
They did.
Okay, and all of a sudden they put together these comebacks in the fourth quarter. They're stealing games left and right. They're doing it in Boston.
Right. And
so, okay, now the momentum goes with the Knicks.
Well, no. The Knicks fans, they got that 2-0 lead, and they started to act like we are the 1960 Celtics and we won 11 titles in a row. They got cocky fast.
I don't know.
It's not
come
cockiness.
They're just excited.
It's excitement.
And now
He's
they're
not here.
nervous.
You were telling me EJ didn't get cocky about the Knicks, then you weren't here.
No, I don't think EJ was cocky about the Knicks. I think EJ has just been, battered over the past 25 years, and he just doesn't know how to act anymore. Just like me.
They don't know what to do. And that's why I would suggest to Manny to go to the watch party and, enjoy it first and foremost.
Literally don't know what I'm doing.
And you may find, the counter, the female Knicks fan. And now, boom, you got a summer romance.
By the way, I've seen the videos. Not a lot of women in those crowds either.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, dog.
Well, that's why, the odds may be good, but the goods are odd. No, I think that whoever's there's going to be some chicks there.
Not a lot.
But some,
you know what?
we're just saying there
might not be a single.
There's a lot of women Knicks
but
fans.
it is a Friday night in New York City, so there is some aspect of hooliganism in New York City that might counter with the hooliganism at Madison Square.
Yeah, women love to step into that or hooliganism. No, I think that you're going to find a lot of cute female Knicks fans there.
Yeah, you're not going to find one. I will guarantee you that.
It's not an Eagles
less
crowd.
than 5. I'm almost tempted to go with you. Now I can't.
You suck.
But I
to
wish
be a
I could.
wingman?
Yeah.
So you hate the Knicks. You wouldn't be able to get past that.
I don't like the Knicks.
You got to fall on a grenade, and I don't think you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
And that means being nice to the Knicks.
The bigger thing is my wife has already made plans for tonight, so she's claimed the
Cancel
evening.
them.
So I
Cancel
have to
them.
bring my kids. Which if they pretend to be yours, would that help? What do you think?
I was a spectacular camp counselor, so I could probably take care of them children.
I think you got to say this is my cousins or nephews or something. Because
Right.
you want hey, I'm good with kids, but I don't have the baggage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah, these are my nephew. What's your name again?
Jim,
Dude,
Jake, whatever.
I'm sorry.
Here's my nephew. He's got a suspect Little League baseball record that gets roasted on.
Big win last night.
National
Huge win.
I'm
for the
looking at
easy
pictures
video
of the
transfer
crowd.
Orioles.
All right, sorry. I'm looking at pictures of the crowd. There ain't a single woman, not a single woman in this entire crowd.
Well, this is what's going to make the story so spectacular. Manny's
And
going to find the one.
This looks
Slim
like
pickings.
the most unlikable group of people, too.
That's
oh, my
your
God.
Philly
Stop it.
colored
Have you ever seen
glasses.
people outside of Philadelphia City Hall climbing, light poles and eating horse manure? Get out of here, brother.
Oh, dude.
You want to talk about miserable individuals?
Now, the women in that crowd.
But seriously, I'm going to send you three
Like the
pictures
Kylie
of this crowd.
Kelce's,
No,
like,
I'm good with the Delco ladies. I'm good.
If you can find a woman in this crowd, then have at it.
It's like where
Have at it.
There's not. I'm pulling multiple pictures. Is this like are women not allowed to be celebrating?
Yes, the Knicks block
It's like
party is segregated.
It's like a sinking ship. The women and children get off first.
Now,
That's how the Knicks have been described over the past 40 centuries.
Bogusch, I'm told you have some updated sound for us from
Yes.
friend of the show, Bill Belichick.
Billy Belichick was just on Good Morning America for 9.5 minutes pushing his new book. Michael Strahan waited until the very last minute to ask about Jordon Hudson.
She's been terrific, through the whole process, and she's been very helpful to me. She does the business things that don't relate to North Carolina that come up in my life, so I can concentrate on football, and that's really what I want to do.
That was
So did you say she's been terrific? Is that the first thing you said? Okay.
Yeah.
She's been through the process. What process?
Of him becoming the North Carolina head coach and then writing the book. So the long story short is the first question that Strahan tried, Belichick dodged it. Then he got that answer from a second question. He went for a third, and Belichick gave him the smile and giggle, and I'm not doing personal relationships. You know that, Michael. So Strahan closed with, are you happy? You seem happy. And he said yes. Okay. And they made a yoga joke, and then it was over.
Oh, like the video on the beach?
Because Strahan said, I can't believe I saw you do yoga. And then he said, only happy people do yoga. I don't know if that's true
Belichick
or not.
said that?
No, Strahan said that to
Oh,
Belichick.
I was going to say, I can't see Belichick making a yoga joke.
No, Strahan did.
Did Strahan make a "we halted your undefeated season" joke?
That's how they opened. Yeah.
It's a good way to get off on the right foot. Remember when we beat you in the game that was going to cement your team as the greatest in the history of the NFL?
Matter of fact, I do.
Here's a question about this is BS from Belichick, by the way. So it's a nice thing to say where, Jordan has nothing to do with North Carolina. You asked to CC her on all correspondence from higher ups at North Carolina.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up. Now, is she calling coverages and deciding which quarterbacks to take out of the portal? No. But the program is much bigger than just what goes on the field. And especially in college, those lines are really blurred.
Not anymore, though. Now I think colleges are more like pros. He is a GM, so there's football operations and there's business operations, just like the NFL.
And she still doesn't work for North Carolina. So,
right,
so why is she CC'd on stuff about Bill from North Carolina?
Well, that's still on the business side, though. He's saying she's my personal assistant in the sense like anything business she can do, anything football I will do. So, like you have two presidents. You have a president of football and you're president of business, and she's on the business side. She's not doing any recruit stuff. She's not doing any depth chart stuff. Like what? How is she touching?
You seem very confident that these lines haven't been blurred when I don't think anything has showed us that they are separate.
But what possible impact does she have on the football side? Like, give me an example. Do you think she's going with him to a recruiting Italy trip? I'm not sure what you mean.
No clue about that, but I think that we already saw that they had a problem with about the social media and about the monitoring the comments in the social media.
Right,
that to me is part of the program.
That's part of the program, but it's definitely the business side. Like in New England, you think that Bill Belichick considered the social media guy part of the football program? No, that's the business side.
Well, it's the Patriot way.
Well,
was that all football, or was that also part of the media policy? And the social media people for football teams are, without a doubt, hand in hand with the players. And the coaches, they get messaging out and what words to avoid and not avoid.
Right,
Belichick
but they don't
blurred this line back to New England.
They're definitely not impacting the football side. I mean, Billy, who's 23 years old out of Northwestern, who gets a job, that has no impact on the football side. Like, zero. It's the business side.
You have a more narrow view of what the football side is than I do.
Well,
you're calling it the plays that are getting called.
No. It's just I think North Carolina, I do disagree. I think it's a pro organization. I mean, I think he's running it like an NFL team. I do think there's a huge separation in the building between business and pro. For example, if you're on the business side and you come in the draft room and say, that guy's really good, you will have 4 coaches turn immediately and say, know your place. Like that's a big thing in NFL organizations. You're not supposed to be a business guy who comments on football. Like they all take that stuff very seriously.
Okay, here's a question I have for you. Do you think Bill Belichick was cool when Alex Guerrero was so involved with Brady on the business and personal side that he didn't consider that bleeding into football at all? He thought, this is just Brady's guy. No, he got ticked off about it. It basically broke up their relationship. Belichick,
I think someone
else who was outside the building, who was not an employee of the Patriots, he had a huge problem with, to the tune of running Brady out of town. This is the same thing.
No, this is not the same. That guy was messing with his players' health plans and bodies. Like there were guys who the team doctors were saying, you have to do this for your knee. Then Alex Guerrero was saying, you have to do this for your knee.
They sought out Guerrero.
But right. But that's a lot. That's much closer to real football than a social media post.
Okay, so how about this? Jordan Hudson's doing such a good job for Belichick that someone else wants to hire her to do their social media.
Okay.
Same as Guerrero. And Belichick, who, Gronkowski all of a sudden wanted to work with Guerrero, and Belichick had a huge problem with it. I'm just saying it's hypocritical. The lines are blurred. And he can say this as a nice thing to say to Michael Strahan to get him off his back on a GMA interview, but it doesn't hold water to me.
Well, yeah, but I do think, I'm sure Bill wasn't lying. Like, she does not have any say on the football side, right? Like, she's not deciding who's going to be the quarterback. like I think the football coaches probably... Like, yeah, I'm sure she does like tweets and PR messages and things. Like,
I think she's breaking down all 22 films.
Yeah. Has she scouted Clemson?
Like, come August, Bill's gonna be like, "Who am I gonna play at left guard?" I don't think he's gonna go to Jordan. I think he's gonna go to some old crotchety football coach and be like, "Who do you like?"
Jordan, we have a big game against Virginia.
yeah.
Big game against Virginia. What do you think we should do?
What's Duke's special teams look like?
But again, at the spring game, she's on the field
she was fixing his mic.
Yeah, I know, but so she's involved with North Carolina football.
Does that mean the NFL Films guys at Hard Knocks are involved with Cleveland Browns football?
No, because they have vests on that say NFL Films, and that's what they're there for. And they have press credentials.
Yeah, she's like.
Is it Terry Saban? Did Miss Terry was she ever on the field? And this is not a rhetorical question. Like I'm asking, did we miss her on the field in Tuscaloosa in April? Fixing Nick Saban's hair before the spring game?
No, but there's PR and community relations people who do a lot of stuff that Belichick does not consider part of the football side. And I'm sure they're on the field running around saying...
Right, and they all have jobs and titles, and their email is at northcarolina.edu.
But I think on a football team, you make a distinction between the football people and the business people. Like, you guys think they're all the same?
I don't think they're the same.
Okay. Yesterday we had Ian O'Connor on, literally wrote a book about Belichick, right? And who did he say was one of Belichick's biggest confidants and helpers all throughout the Patriots?
He had a fixer. I forget his name.
Burge Narjarian, who was one of the PR guys. It's the same, dude. And Burge was actually employed by the Patriots, and no one took it to the point where anyone thought Bill was asking Burge who should be our backup quarterback. Of course, that's asinine. But to say they're not involved in the football program at large, I think is really willfully ignorant here.
But do you agree that there's a football side and a business side, or you think there is not?
I think in a college program it's different because on the Kevin Warren, for example, we talked about the Bears a lot this morning.
Yeah, well he's an exception to every rule, but go ahead.
Well, okay, but he's I think of that as getting the stadium done, trying to get sponsorships for the stadium. That's like the president and what they deal with. I think social media goes throughout. I think that, public relations goes throughout because the team needs it and the business side needs it. So if and anyone who is working for Bill and being asked to be CC'd on North Carolina emails is part of the program.
Yeah, see, I do disagree a little bit about them. I think the North Carolina is built like an NFL team now. I think there are clear lines. Again, watch a draft room and see if a business side person comes in and says, "Hey, I think you should take this guy." Like he'd probably be fired.
Okay, back to Bogusch headlines. What else you got? Anything else interesting?
Kevin Warren was he was like a former player, right?
Anything else from the Belichick interview?
No, but I guess from the NFL news, multiple outlets say that the York family is about to sell 6.1% of the 49ers to 3 different Bay Area families. The purchase based on $8.5 billion valuation of the franchise, which would be a North American record.
I believe it. I believe the 49ers would be worth that much.
Yep. And everyone's doing this now.
Who's the 3 families? Do they know? Not to put you on the spot.
It's just
not famous people. Not Jerry Rice's family.
No, not names that I know.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a total of 6.1% between the 3. They're not each buying 6%.
Interesting.
Yes. Let's get to Denver. Game 6 for the Nuggets and Thunder last night. First chance for OKC to advance. And advance, they did not.
Christian has it. Denver looking for the first nail in the coffin here. They get it with a bucket. Bounce pass over to Jokic inside the arc. Gets in the paint. Floater. Good! 14-point lead for Denver. 102-88.
And they'd win 119-107 after trailing by 10 late in the third. The Jokic hoop called by Jason Kosmiski on Nuggets Radio. Jokic finished with 29 plus 14 rebounds and 8 assists. Jamal Murray scored 25 after visiting the most debated clinic ever for an undisclosed illness. All of that means these two are returning to OKC for Game 7 Sunday. The day is important because this will be the first time in 2+ weeks that the Nuggets will have more than one day off between games. The NHL's best regular season team is still alive this morning. The Jets forcing Game 6 in Dallas tomorrow with a 4-0 home win, 22 saves for Connor Hellebuck. But the NHL's second best team, that's done. The Capitals bowing out in 5, a 3-1 home loss to the Hurricanes last night. Let's get to round 2, PGA Championship, about 2 hours old. Jonathan Vegas, still your leader from yesterday, a 7-under 64. He's been on the course for about a half an hour. He is even on his first hole today. His lead still 2 shots over Cam Davis and Ryan Gerard. Davis is even through 9 so far here in round 2. I feel like this has happened before.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. And Ohtani just hammers one to center field. It is back. It is gone. His second home run of the night. Shohei Ohtani getting it done with a home run to center field. It is 15-2.
That's Tim Neverett on Dodgers Radio. Ohtani, a huge night. 2 homers, 6 RBI on another Ohtani bobblehead night. LA, a 19-2 rout of the A's in their rubber game. And finally, an odd baseball story. Former shortstop Rafael Furcal turned himself into Broward County, Florida police Wednesday on 2 felony charges, one of which is throwing a deadly missile into an occupied car. But we don't know any other details. Whatever happened on Monday. But other than that, we don't know who was involved, what kind of missile was thrown. But that is as odd of a charge that I can ever remember reading in one of these stories.
So it's being labeled as a domestic dispute, right?
Yes.
So it's obviously someone with his family. This caught my eye, too. First of all, I haven't heard from Rafael Furcal in a long time. So you're like, hey, what's Rafael Furcal up to? How do you get your hands on a missile? It's like saying a Molotov cocktail or something. This is a crazy story.
Yeah.
Was anyone hurt?
No, I don't think so.
Thank God.
Yeah. And whatever happened, was not addressed in the moment. It happened, a report was filed, and a arrest warrant went out, and he came into a building on Wednesday. So, nothing happened in the moment on Monday. But that is a very specific charge and a very unique charge.
Yeah, when I'm thinking, well, whatever. I was thinking a missile has to be something that's detonated from far away.
And you shoot a missile. You don't javelin throw it into a car.
You hold it in your hand, like a grenade, I guess.
I guess.
But even still, how do you get your hands on one of those?
Because I also thought a missile, like you said, it's not a grenade because you have to propel a missile. Like you don't ever hold a missile. Like a missile is shot from distance.
What's the matter with this guy?
Allegedly.
What's allegedly matter with this guy? That was a strange story. Okay, lots more to do, and thank you so much, Bogusch. We have.
Oh, by the way, he got out on $7,000 bond, so it sounds like it's also it is feasibly economically to throw missiles and get arrested and then be out.
Where did he get arrested?
In Florida, of course.
Florida, where else?
Yeah. Oh my!
You think
$7 grand?
$7 grand to get out.
This story could have happened anywhere else?
I
but
thought
Florida?
it happened in like the DR or something.
I don't know if we'd hear about it.
Well, that's a good point. Well, we did hear about Wander Franco, but that's a different story for a different day.
That was different. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476.
$7 grand?
You got that. That's walking around money for Manny.
Yeah, I mean, big bucks right over here. You know me, I'm about to get into the garden tonight.
You're probably going to need that $7 grand bond money tonight.
And bail money. Because if you don't meet the woman of your dreams, who's going to bail you out?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Although $7 grand, you could probably sit in the elevator shaft for that amount tonight.
I don't think so.
Definitely not getting anywhere near the court. That's for sure. Okay.
Maybe the roof.
Lots to do, including some NFL news for you. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Town with suspicion in his eyes, saying Kaplan's got a secret and he's hiding it inside. Zach Jobs lost in darkness, Ryan Stream's a mess, Chabelle Wolf's just a spinning wheel. Oh Lord, what a distress. But Maggie and Perloff, they shine so bright like a star in the desert on a Texas night. Daily says it's shady, but I swear on my name, I just push the buttons, I don't play no games. Now Peter Bellotti, well he don't show, and that man's supposed to be running this show. If there's a tech problem, don't look at me. Ask the guy who's missing more than Tennessee team. So Davey, my friend, don't spread that lie. I ain't no bandit, I just make strings fly. But Maggie and Perloff, they shine so bright like a star in the desert on a Texas night. Daily says it's shady, but I swear on my name, I just push the buttons, I don't play no games. Now Peter Bellotti, well he don't show, and that man's supposed to be running this show. If there's a tech problem, don't look at me. Ask the guy who's missing more than Tennessee team. So, Debbie, my friend, don't spread that lie. I ain't no bandit, I just make strings fly. Maggie and Perloff, they shine so bright like a star in the desert on a Texas night. Daily says it's shady, but I swear on my name, I just push the buttons, I don't play no games. Oh, don't play no games. Oh, babe, my friend, don't spread that lie.
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This AI baby thing has really taken over the show. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. And I appreciate Andrew Kaplan upgrading to the premium version to create more AI baby photos for all of us. But somehow mine keep getting worse and worse and worse. And everyone else keeps getting cuter and cuter and cuter. It must be some kind of glitch, bro.
So Maggie just showed me a real baby picture of herself, and she does not look a thing like this baby.
Yeah.
You're a perfectly normally proportioned baby, not this weird thing.
Yeah, this AI version. Although you keep getting better.
Oh, no.
How does that happen?
Oh, no.
What?
I went through, my mom texts me baby photos all the time, and this one is showing.
We get fat Perloff?
No, I got a full Monty going on.
Oh, no, don't show me.
But I will show you. I'll show you.
It's okay. You're a baby.
No. This, I cut it off.
You were kind of chubby.
I was enormous. Oh, Jesus. Also, too, by the way, it must have been really cold for this photo.
Bogusch is walking in to take a look at his baby photo now.
No, Bogusch should just storm back in like the Kool-Aid Man, yeah?
I actually walked in very gingerly because I'm not sure if I should be here to say this. I think part of the problem, Maggie, is that I can't say it's a baby.
It's an AI-generated baby. It's not a real baby. What?
Why is she translating? I'm seeing a real baby picture. She doesn't look a thing like that.
I know. I think the picture is doing you no favors because it's a baby's body. Like
the proportions.
Yeah, like you're losing your womanly qualities, and it's not helping the overall aesthetic.
Also, well, because the baby is dressed as I was dressed that day for the photo shoot, which is like, a middle-aged woman, right? And like whatever I am, 40,
right? And it makes sense on your 40-year-old body. It doesn't, not on a 24-month-old kid.
Well, Perloff's wearing a suit jacket. Nobody has a problem with that.
You look great too as a baby.
But little boy, I feel like a blazer translates well from 18 months to 45.
Man, he's got a mustache in his, and it's cute.
Yeah, that is cute. And you're dressing like Ricky Lake when you're a tiny girl is not helpful.
Well, you look like middle management in yours, and it didn't hurt yours.
I just think boys' clothes translate better to babies.
No one would dress their daughter like this if she was a year old.
No one would, right?
A year and a half.
Right. If you were taking your daughter to, a communion party or something, you wouldn't dress her in black slacks.
Yes, well, this is not part of the Zara baby collection. I bought it in the adult section.
Is there really a Zara baby collection? Yeah. Oh, my God.
Anyway, Cap, I'm sorry you had to upgrade to premium here, but it's just getting worse and worse.
Well, if you upgrade to premium, can we get us all babyfied and get a video in?
I just can't believe I body shamed a baby.
Yeah, you're an awful person.
And you body shamed the baby for not have been through full maturity. Yeah. A little creepy. That's all right. I'm glad you busted back in here to tell us that.
So I'm so sorry I'm distracted.
Great.
My mom sends me does your mom do this where she sends you baby photos?
Yeah, when she's cleaning stuff out, she'll find stuff.
Here's a picture of 11-year-old Andrew Perloff in a hula hoop that if my wife ever saw this, is this the biggest nerd you've ever seen in your entire life?
Wow, you're 11 there?
No, actually, you're right. I must be older.
You were at the same. Are you guys
this
the
was
same
2 weekends ago.
Yeah. I mean.
Can I say it again?
Yes.
They had cameras back
then?
or if just,
Manny, just go to the Webster Merriam Dictionary, look up virgin, and this photo is there.
At 11 years old, I would hope so.
No, I'm a little older. I look like
There's no sports watch party in the world that could help.
Yeah. This is the weirdest photo. Oh my God. Can I have Cap AI me to look cool as a teenager? Or now, as a matter of fact?
I was going to say, can we all use a little help? Although for me, the computer's not working.
Can we get Cap to make us look better, not worse? I think, Maggie, you're right.
I mean, this is just...
Although I look great, although there's clearly... I have a certain smirk a baby gets when he might have just relieved himself in front of people.
It's about the eyebrows. It's a real relief in
you're
those
right.
eyebrows.
I have a slight raise as if... Oh, phew.
Or guess what's waiting for you?
I was a baby.
Just waiting for that.
Yep.
You know, the eyebrows are also as like, well, your problem now. Ho hum, hands in the pockets. Anyway, AI Theo Vaughn as a baby worked out great. AI us as babies worked out terribly.
More just you.
Just me.
Manny's fantastic.
Yeah, Manny looks great with the mustache on a baby.
In the Jalen Brunson jersey.
Yeah,
of
that
course.
too.
I didn't know we needed that in our lives.
The look on his face, too, it's exactly what Manny's going to look like if the Knicks lose.
Knicks down 12 in the fourth quarter.
Not if, when.
Oh, man. I actually think, in real talk, I think the Knicks are going to win tonight.
Do you think it'll be a down by 18 or 20 in the third quarter comeback game like games 1 and 2?
The Knicks are incapable of playing from ahead. So why wouldn't it go like all the other Knicks games have gone? The problem is you just need more than Brunson. Like, that's got to be... Cat's got to get involved. OG.
It's been a lot of bridges.
They all have to be good in the fourth quarter. And Thibodeau can't blow it, too.
I got to be honest, that seems like a very difficult fan experience to have to come back from 20 in every game. Although, I think if you're Boston and you're looking at Jalen Brunson and it's a close game, you're going to lose. That guy is...
Yeah,
we did Shot for Your Life earlier in the week. I've been thinking about that a lot. It's got to be him.
I know, but Jaylen Brown was not only the conference finals MVP and also the finals MVP. Like, he's capable of leaving his mark, much like Perloff's baby and whatever's going on in this diaper that is AI generated.
What's everybody's hunch on the Thunder Nuggets series?
Yeah, by the time we come back in here on Monday, we're going to have an answer, right?
We're going to have a semifinals.
I actually think it's going to be Denver.
Okay, it's funny you say that. I think it's going to be Thunder at home.
Me too. Not easy, though.
I just think Denver only plays 5 guys. It's kind of like the Knicks. Don't they wear down eventually? Jokic is not immune to fatigue. I just don't think like they can just run the same 5. I know, but they can't use the same 5 guys and get out of here.
Here's a question from last night's game. We didn't really talk about last night's game too much, but so Shea gets that third foul right in the first half, and they decide to keep him in, which is pretty rare. Although we saw this in college basketball. This was the Todd Golden effect. Florida Gators head coach, and then he picked up the 4th one though, and it really backfired.
Yep. No, I mean Brunson did that the other day too. But the point is,
Brunson picked up 3 fouls in a minute and a half, right?
Picked up 5 in the third quarter by himself.
That was stupid.
Nefarious.
Who's reffing this game? It's funny. Do we ask this for football? Actually, we do ask this for football. Who's reffing this game? Because that's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, who's the guy that the Knicks don't like?
Scott Foster?
Scott Foster, right?
Yeah.
I don't think any fan base likes him.
Tonight it'll be James Capers, Tyler Ford, and Ed Malloy with J.B. DeRosa as the alternate.
Former Andrew Perloff teammate Ed Malloy. I tell this story. He was on my summer league team. All-time leading scorer at Philadelphia College of Textiles. Major basketball player. Played at St. Joe's, too. Anyway, he's a good ref. He's pretty good.
Where does the Philadelphia College of Textiles play, Manny?
It's now called
Palestra.
It's now called Philadelphia College, I think. They're like an elite D2 school.
Oh, Philadelphia University.
Yeah.
Right?
It used to be called Philadelphia College.
That's where Herb McGee coached.
Yeah, Herb McGee. Herb McGee, who taught me how to shoot free throws. Everyone's in on this Philly Delco official Perloff ring of basketball.
Yeah, there was another ring that was going on with the Delco officials, but that one got investigated by the FBI. But that 11-year-old picture of Perloff being a virgin really is coming. No, he should be a virgin at 11, but that's really coming into focus with this Ed Malloy conversation.
I have some basketball pictures too in here that you're like, oh my God, you are such a nerd. I had the full T-shirt on in high school, Patrick Ewing style, to cover up my scrawny arms.
I don't know if anyone's fooling anybody with that.
No, definitely not. But listen, it was desperate times. I was not good looking. I need Cap to go through all my old photos.
Well, he's making up for it because now you got the better baby picture.
Yeah, I need to have him go back in time. If he can make me look like that as a baby. See, you're the opposite. You actually have. I've seen your food. You were an attractive teenager.
I just look the same.
Yeah. You were pretty good. I don't know. Were you guys nerds as teenagers? Like
you got game, man.
Yeah. Maggie, you were fine.
Hey, you were good.
A 16-year-old, like you didn't have to be desperate like the rest of us. I don't know. Was anyone here a playa in high school?
Yeah.
Connor? We're looking at you.
Connor was like,
okay. I mean, no.
He did all right.
Yeah, I don't want to brag.
He was pulling like 8s.
Wow.
Connor Armstrong has not spoken into the microphone all day. He just walked in here 5 seconds before the bed goes.
Yeah,
I pulled back in high school.
Yeah, was I slinging?
Yeah. I did.
Listen, I got a couple names and numbers for you. Why don't you call her up? See if she's
evidently.
At
See if she's going to the next
pretty
party.
Connor. All right. Didn't realize we were in the presence of royalty.
Wow.
Very good. Manny Rodriguez.
Bring him to the watch party tonight, Manny.
Careful, Connor. Steal your girl Armstrong. Manny, great job this week. Fantastic. Thank you, Bogusch and Kaplan, all over it. Weedos.
You're in a 5-minute break.